All right, welcome back to the O'Shea Vlogcast. I am your host, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Today, I have an all-star lineup. Man, probably going to be one of the best shows that we've ever done. I'm already going to say this is going to be the best hangout of 2017 because I have Obsidian Media Network, also known as Obsidian Radio Podcast, and also Black Men Taking Our Community Back, known as Mr. Black. And I'm using for a topic or discussion one of Obsidian Media Network's classic podcasts, Why I Refuse to Be the Clean Up Man. First thing I want to do is let's introduce Obsidian, who needs no introduction. Then we'll go to Mr. Black and we'll go from there. What's going on, Obsidian?
This is Mumia Obsidian. Ali bitches. Suck on it, bitches.
Okay, man, what's wrong with you? Oh, man. Like I told y'all, the brother needs no introduction. Why the fuck did they give him this mic? That's all I want to What's going on, man? Oh, what's going on, Obsidian?
Everything's all good, man. We were supposed to get together, I think it was late last month, and I wasn't feeling very well, so I was a little under the weather. So I said I gotta get on there and do a hangout with my brother on here. And I'm glad to be here, and I hope this is the first time of many that we do.
Okay, cool. All right. So, and then Mr. Black, who also needs no introduction to this channel and my other channel, glad you can make it. Mr. Black, introduce yourself.
I'm Mr. Black. I do not have an echo box, but we're going to work with what we got.
Okay, and also shout out to X-Kilomatic. He dropped $5 in the super chat.
Well, that's what's up.
I appreciate that, brother. Obsidian, you have, and I gotta really put it out there. The Black manosphere, as to what we know it as today, and that includes, my website, the negromanosphere.com. You are really the brainchild behind what the lifestyle YouTubing for Black men, because to be honest, before you came on the scene, there was Black men talking about Black male issues, but it was never dedicated to what, as you have done it. And I think most of us have kind of followed suit in that. You're kind of the originator of that, but you're also the originator of telling Black men to turn their backs on what we know as the community.
Yeah, the community. My thing is that well, first of all, I want to thank you for that. I never set out to be no great originator or anything like that. I was just doing my thing. But yeah, I mean, there's this idea among some in what would be referred to as Black America or Black community, where you want to, pretty much browbeat and shame Black men into giving their time, effort, resources, etc., into uplifting, quote unquote, the Black community. And really, it's kind of I'm not saying everybody who does this is doing it from a malicious place or a disingenuous place, but I have found, and that's what's going on right now with what's somewhat referred to as the second Black YouTube gender wars. What's going on right now is this idea that Black men don't have any rights that Black women in particular are bound to respect, and that it means that you don't have the right to determine your own interests, or what it is that you want to do with your time and your dime. No, there are bigger fish to fry. You need to be talking about this. Why can't you go and mentor somebody and do thus and so? And no, Black women don't accept the idea that they got to go and get their sisters straightened out. They don't accept that. They say they see themselves as individuals. My name is Ness. I ain't got nothing to do with that mess. But when it comes to Black men, we are all of a sudden now supposed to be RoboCop for all the other Black men out there, whether we know them or not. So that's bullshit. I think that Black men have just as much a right to determine the arc and trajectory of their lives for themselves. And if that means that they wish to go and contribute to the community, if that's what they want to do, That's their right. My position has never been that under no circumstances should a man not do that. If a man individually wants to decide that he wants to, you know, contribute in that way or whatever, that's his business. I reject the idea that I'm somehow duty bound by some broad who ain't already bent over my couch telling me what I need to be doing with my dime and my time. Fuck that.
Can we get an echo box on that?
Fuck that, bitches.
Shout out to Anthony Brian Logan, man. He's in the chat right now. ABL, Mr. 100,000 subscribers, just got back off of a great talk he did at University of Texas, El Paso. A young, up-and-coming Black Republican, man. Really, really great channel, doing some big things off of YouTube. Not only on YouTube. I mean, if you remember, he had an interview with Tommy Lauren last year. That was on the Blaze. So the man is doing great things for the, you know, for Black men and the Black people in particular. So I really want to acknowledge him for being here tonight. Mr. Black, now you're a Black community guy just like I am. I love the Black community, want to see it do better. Why do you feel that, what do you feel about the Black community and what we should as Black men be doing to save it?
Well, I believe the Black community is a reflection of Black people, period. Off top. So I want to start with that premise. And also I believe that, so anytime we go into the neighborhoods and, you know, do anything, whether it's a cleanup, right now I'm in the process of working on a literacy challenge with one of the actually worst performing reading and writing schools in the city. And I'm working with the liaison from the Obama Keepers initiative to get the literacy rates up. So, and we're going to do it with a book challenge. I'm actually going to be utilizing, I'm going to probably be reaching out to you to get some book ideas that I'm trying to get together for these kids to read over the summer. So they're going to read, over the summer. And I'm taking conservative books. I actually talked to her and I was just like, listen, I'm not going to get involved to just like propagate more liberal leftist, you know, defeated victim books. We're not going to do that. So I'm actually, they're giving me the go to bring in some conservative writers into the picture. And so that's what I want to do. So we're going to have a socio-political book that they're going to read. They're going to have a financial book that they're going to read. And then they're going to have another category of fiction books that they can pick from. And then they're going to do 3 reports, and I'm going to have 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. They're all going to get prizes. I'm going to try to get some of the big famous rappers to come out, present the prizes to them, and they're going to get like a laptop or, you know, an iPad or something like that when we go. And this is going to happen in August. So it's going to be a big deal. Hopefully, you know, we get a lot of participation. I can get a lot of donations, and I'm going to be reaching out to brothers to donate a book to the kids as well, to just, you know, try to push a different agenda, a different narrative to the children and let them know that, you know, you are the controller of your own destiny. And I'm working with a lot of the Honor Society children there. They're going to be the first cohorts to that I'm going to use, and we're going to see if it works, and hopefully it does. And, you know, hopefully we can create the future leaders of tomorrow. So my deal is, I feel like the reason I help the Black community is because I am the Black community. Like, I can't escape it. Like, at the end of the day, I believe that when you see rappers on TV, shoot 'em up, bang, bang, when you see Black men,
bang, bang?
you know, yeah, shoot 'em up, bang, bang. Like, when you see that
bang,
on
bang,
TV,
bang, 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 bang.
Yes, indeed. When you see that on TV, that's a representation of me. When you go to Poland, yeah, when you go to Poland, you're gonna be judged based on how we all look as a collective, whether you want to believe it or not. So my deal is, anything that I can do to help build up where I am or in my area, I'm gonna do it. I just think it's just a good thing to do. I don't say that you're supposed to do it, but I'm going to do it because at the end of the day, this is a representation of me. And I'm gonna also say that it started as kind of like me paying my tithe, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I look at it is, I'm not gonna pay somebody's Bentley payment. I've checked out of that. I don't go do the church thing really, but I still have a spiritual, calling. I want to give back. So what I take is what I would normally give to tithes, I give to the community in a sense, or I give to causes that I respect. Even if it's your cause, the Negro Manosphere, I donate to your channel. I'll donate to I donate to pretty much every initiative that people put up. Like, I'm that guy that's just gonna donate. Like, I donate to all of them. Anything somebody is doing that I think is positive, I donate. So, and that's just what I do. So,
if I could jump in there,
go ahead.
Mr. Black makes a really good point, and that's what I'm talking about earlier. See, for me, what it means to be a conservative or a libertarian, if you will, my political stance is I'm much more moderate. I'm not like a hardcore right winger. I'm not one of these dudes that hardcore against gay marriage or abortion or whatever. My thing is that my understanding and take on center right political views is to as much as possible take power away from centralized government and give power to the individual. And whatever the individual wishes to do, of course, it's not harming anybody else, anything like that. It's within the bounds of just good common sense and good, just basic law. Then they should be able to do that. So what I have absolutely no problem whatsoever with Mr. Black, with what he just said. He wishes to contribute to whatever causes and give his time and what have you. That's his business as an individual. He should have that right to decide what he does on his dime and his time. Now, the problem I have is when motherfuckers try to tell Obsidian what to do with his dime and his time. That, especially when they ain't contributing nothing to it, that's when I got a problem with it.
Let me play a little bit of devil advocate if I can. I've been on kind of both sides of the fence. There was a big debacle behind, and I called out several YouTubers for not supporting Mr. Black's cause in the beginning. But here's my question to Mr. Black. You're giving all of your effort to raise these kids reading competency, and I'm for that. I'm the first person that will want to help you with that and will. But why is it not the parents' fault? Where's the mother? Where's the father? Why is it Mr. Black got to give an iPad? Why don't these fucking parents do that? See, that's the problem that I'm having now. Because as a brother like you and yourself, who you've done well for yourself, right? And you care about the Black community. Are you not enabling these particular parents or Black women to continue on in their fuckery because somebody like you was going to try to bail them out because of what
continuing in that Black female fuckery?
I mean, what would you say to that? I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that because this is where I look at it. First of all, I talked to the lady she's the liaison and she works at the school and she kind of talks to a lot of the kids that are having problems and different things like that. To be honest, man, a lot of these parents are 3, 4, 5, 6 generation welfare babies. I mean, this is we're talking the progeny of the previous crack babies of the 90s. You understand what I'm saying? These are the grandchildren from the crack babies of the 90s. So in a lot of ways, they don't have a shot. And when I look at the children, I see opportunity. And another thing I see is leadership. I don't do this from a position of charity. I am not about charity. That's why I'm working with some of the best students first, because I want to work with the children who have the potential to actually become leaders. What I'm doing is role modeling or modeling behavior that I would want them to take on to take control of their neighborhoods. And like I said, I'm reaching out to people to do real estate classes. They're going to do financial literacy there. And they're also going to do career training. And we're going to also promote the literacy for these children. And we'll see if it works, and I'm going to try to, collect as much data on the efforts as I possibly can as well to see how effective it actually will become. So my thing is, it's not about charity for me. It's about leadership. It's about Black people seeing Black people say, I want to see Black people do better. And it's not just Black kids that are going to be assisted. It's going to be Hispanic kids and a couple white kids. And, but I think it's imperative on me that our people see our people come to our radio. I was watching a video. I'm going to make this quick, of Cynthia G, actually. And Lord knows, we couldn't be so more diametrically opposed in ideology, but she actually made, so every now and then she makes like a coherent video. And she was watching a mother that was taking her child. She was trying to take her child away from a couple girls that was trying to jump her. And she was in a neighborhood where there was a lot of guys there. And all of a sudden, the girls, I guess they didn't appreciate her taking her daughter away. So they just kind of start swinging on the mom. And they like literally physically jumped the mom. Like all 3 or 4 of the girls jumped on the mom. And it was like 5 guys that was just sitting up there just watching. And I'm like, how do you feel that it's okay to just sit and watch as these little teenage girls jump on this mom and you just sit there and hold your phone and do nothing? And what that showed me is that a lot of Black men have checked out, and we have in a lot of ways taken the dishonorable position. And like I see even on one of my videos, the hedonistic position, to where it's all about me. It's not about how I am, what I'm projecting into the world, or how we are projected into the world. It's all about me. And once a community does that, I believe that is the beginning of a collapse for any community or any country. Once it becomes about only you, the whole country is at the precipice of collapse.
Okay. Let me now Obsidian, and shout out to Aaron Clary. I see he's in the chat. Aaron Clary is no stranger to this channel. I was actually introduced to him by Obsidian. Obsidian, you are a self-professed hedonist. And he said Black men have checked out. Now, you spoke about both of these things. I know you have a great rebuttal for
that ass bent over my couch.
Let's speak to that, Obsidian. What's going on with this?
Yes, sir.
How do you feel? You still there?
Not hearing you.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying,
Go ahead.
he said that Mr. Black is saying that Black men have checked out of the neighborhoods. So you have Black men watching Black women fight when they're not jumping in, they're not risking, they're not trying to help.
Why is it my responsibility to jump into a fight that has nothing to do with me? I'm not a law enforcement official. I'm not a man in black with a wire coming out of my head and sunglasses looking like Agent Smith. Why is it my job to jump in? That's what the law enforcement is for. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't have a problem with a brother if he chooses to do it, to whip out his smartphone and dial 911. If he wants to do that, okay, fair enough. But beyond that, I don't see why it's necessary for him to intervene into a situation that has nothing inherently to do with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I disagree, because these were teenagers and they were jumping on a parent trying to keep her daughter from getting beat up or getting jumped by. I'm not saying that you have to do it. I'm not the have to do type of guy. But I believe the honorable thing to do is step in and just break it up. I mean, you're talking, these are teenage girls here. We're not talking about, some big, tough, rough. And I couldn't sit and watch teenage girls jump on a woman trying to break up. I mean, I couldn't watch a teenage girl try to jump on a grown woman trying to keep her daughter from safe. I couldn't do that. At least break it up. You don't have to get in there and, throw blows with them. You just say, hey, look, knock it off. Like, break this up. This is not cool. That's it.
You know what?
I have a problem with that. I mean, if a brother want to tell you, say, hey, listen, that ain't cool. Y'all shouldn't be doing that, and keep it moving, I'm cool with that.
Let me jump into this real quick because I've been in situations where, and I still, in where I live now, before I came to Poland, I lived in the hood. I lived in Del Paso Heights. If you're familiar with that area, I'm still there when I go back home, which is the worst neighborhood in Sacramento. The worst. What I will tell you is this. We can stop those people from breaking up that fight, sure enough, but now we got to talk about why those people are there in the first place fighting. Not why they are there in the neighborhood. Why are they fighting? I mean, and once again, it just goes to show, even if you break that shit up, they'll be fighting again. I mean, this is what we know about black neighborhoods. We know about black dysfunctional neighborhoods that are democratically ran. You can break it up, but rest assured that you also run the risk, you breaking up the fight, one of them bitches might hit you and knock you out. I've seen that happen.
I was about to say, there's been instances when both of them bitches will turn on the dude and beat his ass.
You know, and then also, don't you break it up and push somebody, I'm gonna get my brother on you. I mean, once again, I understand why you say, but once again, it's not those guys' fault as to why those girls are fighting or why they're out there in the first place. I mean,
yeah, that is very true, and that's why I say it's no obligation. But I see it like this. You know, you're gonna have to pay your light bill again next month, and if you don't pay it, it's just you will be in the dark. You and your girl. So the way I look at it is, yeah, these things are probably going to continue to occur until, you know, more honorable men start seeing more honorable men step up. A lot of the reason why these things are out of hand in the first place is because it's an actual desert when it comes to honorable men stepping up and saying, hey, this is not right, and I don't care what nobody has to say about it. Because it's not right, I'm going to step up and say, I'm going to do something about it. Like whenever, you know, it's kind of like what Martin Luther King said, you know, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And once you begin to allow apathy, and this is what I believe. I believe black men are in a very apathetic state to where we've given up on anything that has to do with any semblance of maintaining, protecting, or growing a community. We've checked out. We've said we're defeated. We, you know, and we just said, you know, I quit. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. And I think whenever the men are in that position, you will only have social decline. You will only have a community of ruin. This is what you will get. The moment you stop cleaning up your room, O'Shea, or cleaning up your house, you will live in a shithole. It's just inevitable. The moment you say, I don't want to do it because it's going to get dirty again, it's going to be a shithole. It's all about maintaining. And I see it from, like I said, from a leadership position. I'm not saying that I'm obligated to do it. I just think it's the honorable thing to do. And I just feel like sometimes you have to let your better self take the lead in certain situations for the greater good of not just the people around you, but yourself as well. No, it's not about just the community. It's about just and listen, at the end of the day, stop cleaning up your room. Stop cleaning up your room and then just tell yourself that I'm checking out because I just don't want to clean it because it's going to get dirty again. And then after a couple months of doing that, your floors will be sticky. Your clothes will not be clean. Your room will stink, and it will go into chaos. And I don't like seeing chaos if it's something I can do about it.
Good point. Obsidian, what's your response?
Yes. I don't have a problem with what he's saying. I guess, see, my thing is that his analogy about not cleaning up where you live, meaning your own domicile, your house, apartment, condo, whatever. That I don't accept that because that's your own home. You're supposed to clean up where you live at. That's a given. He's talking about cleaning up other people's houses, so to speak. Like I said, if I see two woolly mammoths going at it on the wild tundra there, I'm not going to get involved in that and break it up. Okay, I'm not going to referee that. What I'm going to do, well, more than likely, what I'm going to do is just keep it. I ain't going to front. I'm just going to keep it pushing. I'm not even going to whip out my phone and call the cops. I'll just keep it moving. But if I was going to do anything altruistic, I would pull out my phone, hit 911, report where it's going down or whatever, and hang up and keep it moving. That'll be the extent of it. No way in hell am I getting in between two woolly ass mammals with, you know, the Wookiee weave going all over the place, sounding like Chewbacca. You know, I'm not doing that. No.
Oh my. Let me do this real quick, you guys. Let's pause for the calls. Once again, you guys, we got a great hangout. Both brothers are making some good points. I mean, two very high articulate. Both are conservatives. At the same time, we're all conservatives here, more conservative than not on this particular hangout. Do me a favor. We want to do 3 things. First thing, let's like the video. I got 160 watching, 161 watching. Right, and everybody is cracking up at that Willie Mammoth. So let's get the likes up, guys. Let's get. I need 41 people to go ahead and like the podcast. Let's get the likes up. All right, let's do that right now, people. So let's get the likes up. Shout out to BGS Ibmore in the chat. We had Aaron Clary. I saw him in the chat. We have had Anthony Brian Logan in the chat. So like I said, we had some pretty big YouTubers listening to this tonight. So. Once again, they must have knew that the old man was coming through. They must have knew Mr. Black was coming through. So once again, thank you for that. Now, let's do this at the same time before we continue. Obsidian, the podcast. Remember, many of you saw his last channel was taken down by YouTube, so he's coming by today. Let's click in the box, all right? You see the O'Shea Vlogcast. Let's go ahead and click in the box and subscribe to Obsidian. Obsidian is one of the best content creators. To me, you know, top 2 or 3, you know, in Black YouTube, definitely one of the best on YouTube when it comes to Black men's issues. He specializes in that. So let's go ahead and subscribe to him. All right. So hit sub once you've done that. All right. Let's hit sub once you've done that. And then my man, Mr. Black Man Taking the Community Back. He is the guy who got me doing Google Hangouts. Okay. He doesn't produce a lot. But once again, he was in my top 10, you know, one of the best top 10 creators on Black YouTube. Let's go ahead and subscribe to him. All right. So he's also in the chat. Like the video. Go ahead and subscribe to both these brothers. Great content. You're going to hear some very highly articulate, high IQ, well thought out content. All right. Let me go to this here. Obsidian. We're going to start with you. You are from North Philly, right? Or you lived in North Philly?
I was born in North Philly, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, born in North Philly. One of my best friends went to Dobbins Tech High School.
Oh yeah, 22nd and Lehigh. I know it well.
Okay.
Quite a few honeys over there from that high school. Bent over my little junior futon there. Oh boy.
I mean,
when I was just a little old.
Okay, thank you, Rob Marsh, for the donation. I appreciate you for $4. Man, I'm gonna give you a nice KFC with that.
Y'all donate, man. Y'all go ahead and get your donates up.
Obsidian, what's the problem with these Black communities? What's the problem with North Philly? What's the problem with East Baltimore? What's the problem with Southeast DC? Why do we have so many problems like the fights and the Black female fuck? What's going on? What's the problem here?
That's easy. Well, that's real easy, man. Park Apes. That's what happened.
Explain how Park Apeism is affecting the community and who's responsible for it.
See, before integration and the civil rights movement, all that, before that happened, and the Black community was pretty much segregated due to Jim Crow and that sort of thing. You know, there was a lid kept on Park Apeism. You know, I mean, you still had it, but it was a lid on it. It was a limit to the extent that the Park Apeism would go, because the Black folks that had any sense wasn't going for that shit. I mean, you just couldn't just do just crazy shit at will, because they're gonna put a foot in your ass. But you know, after integration happened and you know, desegregation, Black flight, and all that, what we pretty much did was, you know, all the people that could get out did get out, and what was left was the Park Apes. So what you're seeing right now is basically, you know, like North Philly is one big huge Park Ape preserve. You know, Baltimore is one big Park Ape preserve. You know, Detroit, one big Park Ape preserve. That's basically what you have. You have Park Apes running around in the wild now. They're not being kept in captivity there. That's what's happening. They're in the wild, just out there. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, you just got two woolly mammoths just going at it. You know what I mean? Or sometimes you have a whole pack of woolly mammoths. They just stampede through there, and they get the, fighting and all the rest of it. Sound like Chewbacca. Just doing that. So it is. I get the hell out the way.
Mr. Black, you're a highly intelligent brother. You do well for yourself. You've been to Africa. You've been to many different countries. Why is a brother like you even around a neighbor? I mean, because you live in Texas. You could be in an affluent Black community. I mean, right? Because there's multi-facets of Black community. You have ghetto Black community, Fifth Ward, but then you have upper echelon Black communities where a brother like you would fit into. Why is Mr. Black not worried about the higher partition of the Black community that fits him? I mean, the better Black communities.
Well, for one, I grew up in the hood, so to speak. So I understand the people. I speak their language fluently.
You speak Park Ape?
Yeah, I speak Park Ape fluent. Yeah, I speak it. And the thing about it is, I wouldn't say that I live in the direct hood. I don't live there. Like, that's not where my actual residence is. But I definitely frequent through there on pretty often, because I also do real estate investment. So a lot of it is because when you do real estate investment, it really, 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 really highlights the reality of the situation that our people are in as a whole. And when you go to a lot of these neighborhoods where they're gentrifying, and you see, like, I'm talking about blocks away, where you turn around the corner and you drive into a metaphorical jungle that is like walking distance away from a ritzy new urban area, and it's just really, 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 really it's heartbreaking to watch. So what I want to see is, like I said, I'm not trying to save these people necessarily, but what I am trying to do is I'm trying to extract as much of the talent that I possibly can from a lot of these areas, especially with the younger kids that have potential. Fifth Ward actually has put out some great humans. They put out some good people that have that are very, very great staples in the city. So I want to be able to tap into that talent and say that I was the catalyst for the success that it brought. And that does something for me. So I can't speak for you or nobody else, but for me, it just does something for me. As a matter of fact, if it was up to me alone, I'd probably live in a Black neighborhood. You know what I mean? Preferably one that's being gentrified.
Black neighborhood is not synonymous with Park Apeism. We got to be clear about that. You can live in a nice neighborhood that's Black. We have that here in Philly. Exactly. You got nice neighborhoods that are Black.
Yeah, you even have like a Third Ward. I mean, it's almost completely gentrified, but I mean, it's not all Black. It's you do have a few Black professionals. Even if you go like to Pearland, it's pretty much mostly Black professionals. So yeah, we have neighborhoods that are Black, Missouri City, that are successful neighborhoods. But I would want to be able to be a role model for some of the kids coming up. That just does something for me.
Obsidian, let's talk about, because you're about the first person that's talked about the different stratifications of the Black community. A lot of people think that the Black community is just the ghetto. Can you talk about, the different levels of the Black community as you know it?
Well, sure. I mean, I refer to the book a lot called Disintegration by Eugene Robinson. And
I read that book because of you too.
He talks about the fact that there is no such thing as the Black community. You actually have Black communities, and you have Black folks who know how to act, middle class, mainstream Blacks who know how to act, and you have those people that are dealing within civilization, and then you have the Park Ape preserves. You just see the woolly mammoths and stuff in the wild. Just wild and woolly there.
So again, we come from, now let's talk about your upbringing.
Yep.
Your grandfather was a Marine.
Yep.
Your father was a Marine. Why didn't you turn out to be a Park Ape like some of the other people in North Philly?
Why did I turn out to be a Park Ape?
Why didn't you?
I didn't turn out to be a Park Ape. Well, I mean, you just answered it. You know, I had my, my dad, my granddad wasn't going for that crap.
Hello.
It's just that simple. I mean, the idea that you could wear your hat to the back and that sort of thing. Nope. And it wasn't no thing of, asking me to take up my hat off. What was going to happen was the hand of God coming and taking my hat off. So, I had to wear my what my dad would refer to as my cover. The hat. You had to wear it appropriately. I wasn't doing. The whole pants sagging thing came along way after I, hit maturity. But that nonsense. Oh, forget it. Shoes not tied up. Forget it. None of that. Just wasn't doing it. It was just a alien concept in my dad's home, man. Not doing it.
Let's keep talking about this, and I'm gonna come to you, Mr. Black. Your grandfather, I hear you talk about, was a Marine. Your dad was a Marine. I think was it your dad in the Korean War or your grandfather?
That's right, Korea.
Okay, so when we talk about the Black community and the reason why it isn't where it's supposed to be, what you've been hitting on, I think one of the big keys of your channel is the fact that Black men are not leading the home.
Yeah, my dad, I'm not going to say that he ruled it with an iron fist. I'm not going to say that. What I would say was that he was a benevolent dictator.
I mean, and here's the thing. You talked about on your channel many times that when Black men are in the house, there's less violence in those communities, hardly any violence when men rule communities. But one of the other things that you pointed out, that I can rectify is that when you get Black men like Mr. Black who do want to do these things, Black women try to shut it down. You brought up a great case in point of the Detroit 300, where you had Black men doing what Mr. Black was trying to do, if not more, putting their lives on the line to protect Black community.
Oh, yeah.
And go in detail about that, because I've actually first heard it from you.
Yeah, the Detroit 300, that was really tragic what happened to them. And I would love to get one of those brothers on my show to discuss situation. I got to think, make a note of that, because I got to get one of those brothers on the show. But in a nutshell, the brothers tried to get themselves together to address some of the very problems that Mr. Black is talking about. And who shut it down? I'll tell you exactly who shut it down. What shut that down? Black female fuckery shut it down. You had the wild and woolers out there, the woolly mammoths, the Park Apes, the baboons, the hyenas. They all came out and shut the brothers down.
Why do you think they shut the brothers down?
Because they like the disarray. Alan Roger Curry talks about this. It wasn't men who called for the general chaos that has happened over the past 50 years. It was women. Men weren't out in the streets talking about, yeah, we want our moms and sisters to be able to fuck whoever they want to fuck without getting married or whatever. It was women doing that, not men.
Mr. Black, what do you got to say to this? Because, I mean, in a lot of ways, a brother like you who has a heart for the community like I do, you got to understand that the people who are going to look to shut you down are the people who you are trying to help. Many people don't want you to be there. They don't want to see you there. And they're going to fuck with you because they don't want to see it get better. What's your response to that?
Well, my response to that is that may be true. Right now, I get a lot of support from Black women right now, currently. Matter of fact, yeah, I get a lot of support from Black women. But the thing is, that may be true. And I think a lot of it is because I believe we have a bit of a role reversal going on in our community, and where the Black women, I believe, don't want to relinquish any power, which I don't think anybody who has any semblance of power wants to relinquish any power. I mean, power is addictive. It's an addictive, ugly thing, and an absolute power corrupts absolutely. So I think what's happened is Black men have been, we haven't been engaged for so long that a lot of Black women, I think, fear Black male leadership. And as a result, anytime black men assert themselves, it scares black women. I've witnessed this not only with black community events, but I've witnessed it even with black women that I'm around. Like, especially if you talk to black women that have not grown up with a father or have not seen that type of male leadership modeled around them, they're very apprehensive to any type of male leadership. And I think that's just a result of black male failure for so long, unfortunately.
Obsidian, what do you have to say to this?
I reiterate what I said before. I mean, if Mr. Black wishes to swing into action and save the day, that's his right. And I don't have any problem with that. Me, on the other hand, I'm doing like Riley did in the Boondocks when he said, if I see two woolly mammoths going at it on the wild tundra, I'm getting the hell out the way.
I mean, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Marcus Brown, shout out to you, fam. Had an interview with him yesterday. It was the day before. It was a great show. Great show. Shout out to Marcus Brown. Thank you for your donation.
What's up to his channel?
Here's what I gotta say. Here's what I have to say. I'm living in Poland. One of the worst places I would think for a black person to be in. Now get this. I go through my little fuckery here and there with some Polish people, but overall, I feel safe. I mean, my girl's out here living with me now. She feels safe. I mean, when I think about going back to the black community, I'm thinking about when I used to go outside. I'd have to worry about not only crazy niggas, but loose pit bulls running around. Yeah, is that just me? When you go outside, you have to worry about a fucking loose pit bull about to bite your ass, something like that. I mean, it's just crazy there. And the thing about black communities is you don't own them. I mean, that's one of the things you got to understand. It's like the same people who make the laws that have the liberalism, you cannot change those laws unless all those people want to do it. In the black community is 95, 96, 97% liberal. And I think that's what stops so many of the best black people from wanting to come back, because number one, it's too much fuckery. Number two, you have too many people who benefit from the fuckery. Your Jesse Jacksons, your Jamal Harrison Bryants, your Umar Johnsons. And number three, you don't own it. I mean, people want to see black communities fuck around. Tracy, hey, how you doing? I mean, Mr. Black, you got to admit that this is what people want to see black communities suffer. They do. I hate to say poor ones, they do. I mean, how can you compete against that?
Well, John Locke said the same thing back in the days when he was working with, given, it was a big debate about blacks getting land during the Homestead Act and different things like that, and prior to that as well. And basically what he said was, if people don't have ownership of anything, then they're not going to take pride in it, and it's going to deteriorate, and black people don't own stuff. But now that takes me to another point. And I actually talked about this in one of my videos, is what I'm witnessing is this. I believe black men have been defeated for so long. I talk about Forsyth County, Georgia a lot, where black people lost, it was like 1,100 residents that lost their land. We talk about the things in Wilmington in 1898, where black people were lost, thousands upon thousands of acres of land. We've been brutalized in a lot of ways so much. And I'm not talking about the typical racist narratives and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about real land was actually stolen. And, currently now, 98% of all rural land is owned by whites. And black people own millions of acres, going into like the 19th century, at the beginning of the 19th century, and the early 20th century. So what does all of that mean? What that means is, I think after all of these consecutive losses that black men have taken, I think apathy has set in. And in the midst of apathy, I always say you have the honorable men which is a small portion. You have the following men, and then you have the hedonistic men. And it's always a war between the hedonistic and the honorable men, because the hedonistic and the hedonistic men typically are the charismatic guys as well, just as much as the honorable men are. But the difference is, and the following men kind of just sway in between. They act as the buffer between the two. The hedonist typically has given up, and he just wants to do his own thing. He could care less about anything or anybody, unless it's important. Hold on. I'm gonna just get my point.
It's not synonymous with selfishness. The two are not the same.
I understand what you're saying. You have some people who do great things that are hedonists. I mean, it's not like hedonists don't
particularly busting a big, huge splendiferous nut.
Yeah, But the thing about it is, but at the end of the day, it's a smaller percentage of honorable men, and the following men kind of are going to follow either the hedonist or the honorable. And if the apathy has set in so long with black men to where hedonism is taking total control. That's why we have the rappers. That's why we have rappers leading the culture. That's why we have everything about self-pleasure, nothing about self-sacrifice. And when you don't have any men willing to self-sacrifice to some degree, what you have is social and economic collapse. It's inevitable, because you can't maintain.
You make a really good point
without
there,
that.
Mr. Black, because one of the brothers in the chat, he put it all in caps. You know how us black folks do. We got to put everything in caps. Brother Rob Myers, he asked me, says, Obsidian, why can't you speak on the necessity of black business? I don't want to answer that question right now. 2 words. Are you ready, Rob Myers? Are you listening closely? The reason why Mumia Obsidian Ali doesn't speak more on the necessity of black business is because of Park Apes. That's the reason why I don't discuss it. What business owner wants to go and open up shop in a Park Apeism preserve with woolly mammoths, Wookiees, hyenas, baboons, and macacas running around in the wild? Would you like to take your business and open up shop in a Park Ape preserve, sir? I don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's problematic, but I think a lot of that is, I think a lot of, that's welfare contributed to subsidizing low IQ populations of children being constantly we can't keep producing low IQ children who can't perform, who can't compete in the global economic system. So, a lot of these problems are, it's a problem. But at the end of the day, with problems, there's always solutions. I tend to be more of a solution-oriented guy who believes in the glass halfway full, and I fight to maintain a certain semblance of honor in the community. That's it. That's me. And like I said, right now, we don't have honorable men in the majority controlling black culture. And that's the only difference between us right now and, say, for instance, China. The only difference with us now and China is they have more honorable men leading the culture opposed to us leading the culture. So if you have, a dearth of honorable men, what happens is your women become masculine because they can't be protected. And your neighborhood, your neighborhoods continue to decline. You live in ruin. And
but hold on a second.
You just have to suffer those consequences.
I hear this a lot. We're not protected, black. We're not protected. What's her name? I gotta say it. Crystalline the coward. She always talks this nonsense. We're not protected. Protected from what exactly?
Well,
themselves.
Yes.
Protected from woolly mammoths.
Well, see,
going around talking about. Wait, what?
Yes, absolutely, from themselves. Because you got to understand. It reminds me of my girl. Right? When I met my girl is fairly successful. She and that's why I like the podcast that O'Shea did earlier. My girl, she makes well into 6 figures. She's she's a successful person. And when I met her, she was
worried about. She's one of the good, simple black people who's got actual sense and lives in human civilization. She has nothing to worry about.
But let me explain. She does have something to worry about, because guess
she got
what?
something to worry about from the woolly mammoths.
No, listen to me. When I met her, she was living with her mom. Now she just lived there because she wanted to. It wasn't because she needed to. She just wanted to. But when I met her, she was broke. She didn't have anything in savings. She didn't have any long-term goals. She just did what she wanted to do. She spent all of her money traveling, keeping up with the Joneses, buying this, buying that. And this was what she thought was life. She was broke. Making over a six-figure income, broke. When I met her, in essence, I had to take on leadership to keep her from ruining her potential. This happened.
What?
Yes, because
how old was she, man?
Listen to me. She was what, maybe 25 or so, like, maybe 25, 26.
So this is a woman. This is a black woman who's 25 years old, and she needs a man to save her from herself.
What I'm telling you is most women do. This is what I'm telling you right now. Is black women have some of the lowest. Even college-educated black women are only worth I think a lot of them are in debt. They don't even have $5.
They have a negative net worth of over $10,000, bro.
Exactly.
About 11 grand on
negative.
Average.
Exactly. So these
now,
women.
You want to know whose fault that is? You want to know whose fault that is?
The women. The women.
That's right. They need to go and look in the mirror. It's their fault that they got a bullshit degree that doesn't pay anything when they get out in the real world. It's their fault, bitches.
But that's not true, because my girl has a good degree that pays her very well, but she didn't know. And I had to teach her. And now she has a positive net worth. She has a great net worth. Yeah.
Hold it.
And if
she
I
went to hold it, hang on. She's 25 years old, went to college, got a degree, doesn't know what the worth of the degree is. Are you kidding me?
It's not about not knowing the worth of the degree. She knew what the worth of the degree. She makes good money. She's successful. The point is, she didn't know how to prepare herself for life correctly. She didn't have, the training on that. And a lot of our women don't. That's the reason why they're broke. That's the reason why our neighborhoods are broke.
I am not here to be. Listen, if they want a father, if they need a father figure, they need to go and dig up George Michael. He was the one that talked about being a father figure to him. I'm not. The only time I want to hear a woman calling me daddy is when I got her bent over the couch, hitting that high note where she's going, oh, that's what I want to hear. Other than that, all that other stuff, she can go ahead and get her own self prepared.
Okay, hold on one second. Let's do this, you guys. Let's take a little bit of intermission. This is a both points on both sides. Like I said, I love both these brothers. They're really good content. Let's do me a favor, guys. 200 watching. I really appreciate it. But what the fuck? Only 117 likes. All right. You guys are getting entertained by Mr. Black and Obsidian. You guys are forgetting to like the fucking video. So this is what I need. I need 43. I need 50. Matter of fact, 50 people to hit the like on the video. So stop watching the video right now and hit the like on the video, right? Get the likes up. The more that we do this, the more that we can get this epic workout to the rest of YouTube, okay? And we're having a great discussion between, three black conservatives for the most part. We don't agree on everything, but you're hearing, the best of black men, highly intellectual thought conversation. So at least you can donate a like. Now I got 203 watching. Now I know Friday some of you niggas got paid. Come on now, somebody got at least $5 on my Popeye's chicken. I need some niggas to give up some money to give me some motherfucking chicken. All right. So you niggas know how that shit be. I need my hot sauce, my barbecue sauce. You niggas stop being cheap. Go ahead on before the conversation. Donate $5 to it, right? That money goes pretty much to Obsidian because I gotta pay the nigga, right? So y'all know how that shit be, right? You guys support the channel. We present the Negro Manosphere. So appreciate you. Let's keep the likes going. All right. I need 12 more likes. Oh, it's Thursday. Well, y'all get paid tomorrow, nigga. It'll be an overdraft. So listen, keep the likes coming. And I got a question for Mr. Black because as you were talking, I was writing down a whole bunch of stuff. And I gotta talk to you about this because you talk about low IQ children. Okay, and you talk about honorable men. Let me talk to you about low IQ children. Okay, you mentioned IQ a whole lot. Now here's my thing on IQ. Bella, thank you for the Popeye's chicken. Right? Listen, the average IQ of the African American is 85. Right?
Yes.
That's what the bell curve says.
Yes.
The average Ashkenazi Jew is 103, 104. Right?
Probably higher than that. I think they're higher than that.
No, it's higher than that, bro.
It's higher than that.
What's higher than that? What 110?
The average of the American average white person's IQ is about 100. So the Asian's IQ
about 107 and 108.
The highest, which is around 115 or something like that. So you're looking at the average Ashkenazi Jew. You're looking on average. You're looking at it somewhere between 100 and 115 at least.
Okay.
At least.
All right, let's do this. Shout out to Perry Stanley. Let me talk to you about this. Low IQ, right? Okay. Black Patriarch did a video on IQ and how kind of bullshit it is. Let me tell you something, okay? The India has an IQ of 84 average. Iran 84, okay? The difference between 85 and 100 IQ is 15 points, but really it's not a big difference. I'm gonna tell you why. Even if you push the IQ up to 100, well, let's look at Poland. Average IQ of 99. People are poor as shit here, right? Ukraine, average IQ of 1998.
Right.
Poor as fuck.
Yeah.
The state of Kentucky, average IQ of 99. Poor as fuck. West Virginia, average IQ of 99. Right? You want to go to some better countries? We can try Lithuania. Okay? So what am I saying here? What I'm saying is the average IQ, even if it jumped up 15 points, it doesn't do a fucking thing for Black America. My point is that you don't have enough people at 150 or 160. Why? The people who are at 160, 150, 140, those people are more likely to come up with the Googles and the Facebooks.
Right.
And do
you see the people that coming up with the Googles and the Facebooks and the Apples and the Microsofts and all these people? Are they living on a Park Ape preserve, my brother?
Absolutely not. Let me finish. It's a great
to ask the question is to answer it.
What am I saying here? If you're 140, 150, 160, okay, that means you're the motherfucker who can build for everybody in the society. Right? Here's the problem that the Black community has. The problem is to get 150 and 160 means that those people typically come from parents that are two-parent homes whose parents had those high IQs. So the low IQ problem in Black America comes from the lack of what? A Black man and a Black woman who are also high IQ themselves. But why?
Yeah.
Highly intelligent Black people in the Black community have a problem of what? Well, number one, they've been shunned since slavery. Thomas Sowell talks about it. I mean, you had the American Colonization Society trying to take higher IQ Blacks away. So the low IQ problem is not so much because the average white, even if the average Black person was 100, the average motherfucker with 110 IQ is broke in America. He can't make his own money. He can't save his own money. He's still dumb as shit. Even the 115. When the problem with Black people is we don't have enough people at 160 or 150 that we believe in. We don't trust those people. And that is what's wrong with us. It's not that we don't have them. We don't trust them. Let's keep it fucking real. The 85 to 100 doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't. We gotta get away from that. It doesn't matter. What's the problem is the people we have at 140 or 150, we don't say, okay, hey, listen, smart motherfucker. I'm gonna listen to what the fuck you say and you build for us. That's our problem. That's it.
Well, I think it's two problems. I think it's two problems. I think for one, yes, we do have the issue to where what I call regressive cultural adaptation. And what that is essentially where our people, because apathy has set in. You mentioned India, right? Mm-hmm. India don't have many of the social dysfunctions that we have in Black America, and a lot of it is
they got a water mafia in India, bro. They have water mafia. Think about that.
My point
water is so incredibly fucked up in India that they got criminal cartels ruling and controlling the drinkable water in India. Look it up.
Yes, I believe that. You know what I mean? Those are necessity-based crimes as well, too. So, but my point is this. What I'm saying is they don't have rampant child illegitimacy rates They don't have this. They don't have rapid divorce rates. They don't have a lot of these social ills. And a lot of it is because, matter of fact, they have some of the lowest divorce rates in the world. And a lot of it is because it is honorable men to combat the hedonists in the society. See, I personally believe that the honorable men should lead any culture. You're going to find the honorable men leading behind any great accomplishment that happens in the world anywhere. Okay. So, but when the hedonist takes over control, and there's nothing wrong with having hedonists in a culture. You're going to have them no matter what culture it is. But the thing about it is they can't lead the culture. When they lead the culture, you're going to have all type of societal dysfunctions in that culture. And what we're witnessing in Black culture is what I call regressive cultural adaptation, in where
that is not Black culture, brother. That is Park Apeism. That's
but
what
the point is,
man.
it is synonymous right now.
Park War for the Planet of the Park Apes, and that is the appropriate theme that's going on right now in Black America. We have a war for Black America, and on the one side you got Black folk who got some sense, and on the other side you got Park Apes, woolly mammoths, hyenas, macacas, and baboons. That's what you have, bro. You got what we have out there trying to take us out. That's what we have.
The thing about it is, the truth is that Park Apeism is synonymous with Black culture globally. Whether you want to believe that or not, right now, Park Apeism is the #1 representative of Black people globally. This is how we're represented.
No, yes, it
is. Yes,
Michelle Obama. Well, so who's Michelle Obama? She's chopped liver.
Hold on one second.
Michelle Obama chopped liver, man.
Hold on. Let me.
Oprah Winfrey is chopped liver. LeBron James is chopped liver. Tiger Woods is chopped liver. Come on.
Okay, hold on a second. I want to shout out Perry Stanislaw donating 10 British pounds on Super Chat. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. I want to shout out Darren Yoder, $10 donation. Man, appreciate you. Simple and cool, simply cool. That's a long ass name, brother. Thank you for your donation to Super Chat. Hey, you brothers support these brothers in this chat. Keep giving. You know, Tobo 791, $10. Thank you so much, brother. Marcus with another $2. So appreciate you. Obsidian, let's go back to you. What you were just saying just now, man, about the Park Apes.
Go ahead.
No.
Let me give you an example of what I mean, because, you know, a lot of times we have these discussions in the abstract. So let me give you an example of what I mean. See, white folks, particularly the Swipple type whites, they have a very high affinity for quality of life. If you go where they live, it's Mayberry RFD all over again. It's just like with a hipster spin on it. There's lots of amenities. There's lots of walkable places. You can walk and get all your nice food and fresh food and organic food and all the rest of it. You can get nice micro brews. You can go and do like little curio shops, your little tattoo places and things of that nature. It's nice. You got your gourmet ice cream shops and shit like that. You don't have those type of things in the Park Ape preserves, and there's a reason for it.
Do you think that happens?
Let me explain to you something. I live right on the edge of a Park Ape preserve. I'm right on the edge of it. I'm between the straight up Swipple zone and, you know, the Park Ape preserve. I'm right in that nexus between the two where you can see one phasing out and phasing into the other. Let me explain something to you. I have my lady friend over, right? So, you know, I mean, you got women over, fellas, always have your shelf with all of your libations and whatnot ready. You know, your liquid inducements. Always have a nice like O'Shea's over in Poland. They make a really good vodka over there, Sobieski. You always want to have your libations and everything ready, because when she comes over, you want to just ply her with some of that. Have another drink, my dear. And you know what happens after that? Soon after that, she's gonna be bent over the couch. So I had her over, right? We eating and everything, and then I wanted to go and get some libations, you know. So she told me about this spot called GoPuff, right? GoPuff.com. You go and order that. You go and hit that up the website, and you can actually order your libations right there on the website, and they come and deliver it, right? So she said, yeah, it's really great. I'd use that all the time. People in my neighborhood use it all the time. So I go and do that. Do you realize, man, the white dude, the Swipple white guy, called me back in like 10 minutes and told me they couldn't deliver where I lived at because that was not where they was delivering at this time. And I know the reason why they wasn't delivering the Angry Orchard that she likes to drink. because of, let's all say it together now, Park Apeism. Okay? So Park Apeism kept me from getting my swerve on in a proper manner, bending her over my couch. That is the reality of living in the Park Ape Preserve. Your quality of life is greatly reduced.
Do you think that happens in a vacuum? Does that happen in a vacuum? The only reason why
it happens in the vacuum. It happens in the Park Ape Preserve because she lives in the Swipple part of town, and she can get shit like that delivered. She can get bottles of wine and stuff delivered to her because she lives in the Swipple part of town.
Because somebody made it that way. The Swipple part of town is because somebody made it that way. Somebody created that.
It's because of the Swipples.
Somebody
made it that
maintained the standards.
The Swipples made it that way.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you. Yes, and it happens that way because somebody said.
And guess what they don't have? And guess what they don't have in Swipple Town? They don't have. Let's all say it together now. They don't have Park Apes.
Yes, they don't. They don't. I agree. They don't have that there because they keep it out. But I wanted to finish that other point too, and I think that's why the welfare. I think a lot of that is producing more and more low IQ children. I mean, we're subsidizing low IQ children being born, and that's why I'm just.
And do you know who? And do you know whose fault it is for the fact that Obsidian, not Obsidian, the fact that the black community, such as it is being overrun with morons and cretins and imbeciles and imps of an intellectual stature. Do you know the reason why that is, Mr. Black? Let's all say it together now. It's due to black women. Black women, stop fucking intellectual imps, morons, cretins, and dummies.
I agree.
Any questions?
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Because I mean, at the end of the day, the hedonists have taken control of the culture. So black women are more attracted to the hedonistic guys in the culture. Like, they're attracted to the rappers. That's who represents the culture as premium black male, at least on the sexual marketplace for black men. We've allowed the hedonists to represent the culture. That's why I say that black culture is synonymous with Park Apeism. And when that happens, the women are going to gravitate towards the Park Apes as the premium stock of black male in order to procreate with. That's what happens.
Let me do this real quick. Shout out to Raphael2885 for the $12 donation. He says, everyone go to Urban Dictionary and keep trying to submit Park Apeism. They keep rejecting my definition.
I like that. I like that idea. I like it. I like that idea.
This brother, man. So listen,
also submit Wookiee Weave. Submit that in there too.
Shout out to Clark Rankin.
With a woman with so much he resembles a Wookiee from Star Wars. Chewbacca. You know how that go.
Shout out to Clark Rankins, man, again for the $10 donation. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. You guys are doing this. When you support my channel, you support the Negro Manosphere. That pays for those classic columns you see that Obsidian writes every Sunday with Ron Wills, Alan Roger Curry. Thank you for support. What we want to do, let's take a quick intermission. We have 236 watching, right? And keep in mind, we did not promote this. I just got pretty much a New Possibilities is in the building. His message.
Hey, bring New Possibilities into the chat, man. Bring him in.
Bring him in. Don't like that nigga. But I'll bring him on. Email me at planetoshay@gmail.com. New Possibilities. I'll send you.
I got another guy that wanted to join too. Sub-Zero, possibly.
Sub-Zero. Let's do this, you guys. Let's get 35 more people to like the video. Okay, so let's do that. I got 166. Let's get some more likes in here. Shout out to everybody who's been donating. Really, 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 really appreciate it. You guys always support the channel. So let's go ahead and get the likes up. We had Aaron Clary stop by, 30,000 subscribers tonight. We've had BGS Ibmore, shout out. And if he wants to get on, I'd definitely like to have the master teacher on. Email me, planetoshay@gmail.com, BGS, if you want to jump on tonight. You know, any YouTuber, you know, that's a known YouTuber that wants to, you know, talk, you know, we can get you on. Let's get 25 more likes while we're taking the intermission. And I'm checking my email as we speak. So you know, keep the likes coming. We really appreciate you, brothers, tonight. KJ Lil John, don't even worry about it, man. Just like the video. Appreciate you, man. And for those of you who wanted to donate and just can't, listen, we don't even care. Just keep watching the videos, keep sharing the videos. You supporting the video is what helps us here. All right, so let's get the likes up. Get the likes up. We got our London brothers in the building. Master Will. Simp Possibilities is in the chat. What's up, Simp Possibilities? You want to get on this here?
Let me make my point.
Simp Possibilities and Simp.
You know, I completely disagree with a lot of things that New Possibilities says, but I actually appreciate that he comes from a place. He looks like he comes from a true place of conviction, and I can always respect a brother who stands on principle. Whether
He comes from a
I
place
agree
of
with
neighborhoodism.
That nigga is full of shit.
Yeah.
Is he?
He knows he's full of shit.
I mean, it's a free country. If he wants to be Captain Save-A-Hoism, Uncle Tim, Simp, Panda Bear, Mangina, you know what I mean, White Knight and Blackface, have at it. It's a free country. You can do that. I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to do it, but let's call spade a spade. Socrates, the wise man Socrates, said that the beginning of wisdom is by calling things by their proper names.
Look, let me ask you this, Obsidian, because you know I've heard a little bit of that hangout you did with New Possibilities, and he's talking about, like, you know, black men, you know, we shouldn't point out a few things that we see about black women and try to categorize all of them because we see a few do. And once again, I think it's New Possibilities simply trying to get some pussy. You know how that nigga is. I mean, nigga, you went to law school,
which is never going to work, by the way. That's never going to work.
Yeah, you in Baltimore and can't get no pussy still? Come on, nigga, you supposed to be able to get some of that for no reason. Just be yourself, you know. But
he's incredibly backed up. He's incredibly backed up.
Yeah.
When you won't even answer the question as to the last time that you done bust a splendiferous nut over the backside of a beauty bent over your couch, and you can't even answer the question, you know you backed up.
They giving pussy away in Baltimore, nigga. You haven't had pussy since Ronald Reagan. Y'all are going to get that work. Man, shut your punk ass up. You ain't gonna do nothing. Obsidian, but what's Simp Possibilities' problem here? You know, like
he ain't getting no ass. That's the problem. He thinking that if I speak like Floyd Patterson and I say the right proper things with black women, that will help me. No, it won't. Where's my bike? No, it won't.
Oh God.
Yo. Oh, Raphael too.
Yeah, please get Angel Ramirez Jordan on there. Like, get him in here too. Get him in here. I got something for him too. Get him in here.
Yo, Angel Ramirez.
2 for 1. New Possibilities on one side, Angel Ramirez Jordan on the other. Get both of them in here.
Yeah, I rather deal with New Possibilities to do with Ag Ramirez.
And bring that Garage Autonomous guy. Bring him back in here so I can wax his ass the 3rd time straight. Go ahead, bring him. It'll be a 3rd time is a charm.
Is a bitch. Keep it real. Hold on, wait, before we go back into if I listen, 230 watching. Shout out to Raphael again for the $5 donation. You guys are really, really getting hot tonight. 16 more likes, fellas. All right, you niggas. Oh, Red Star, New Orleans in the house, $10. Man, y'all about to get me to the strip club.
Star in the house.
Okay, listen. I need you Negroes. I got 16 more likes. All right, just 16 more. I ain't asking for a whole lot, nigga. Give me 16 more of these likes, okay? 16 more of these likes. We're gonna have 200 likes, all right? And that's what we need to keep the show going. So 15 more. Thank you, 187. Let's get 13 more. All right. And if we get 13 more, I pretty much know that this video will get over 500 likes once it's done. All right. So we got 190. Let's get 10 more. 10 more people. And let's see if Simp Possibilities emailed me. Nah, he did. That nigga don't want these problems. Too busy sipping over the black bitches. Okay, come on, guys. 10 more likes. Listen, let's go back to this IQ thing. All right. Once again, Westwood, hold on a second. Westwood 13X. Shut up, bitch. But I hate when dudes ask me dumbass, what's your beef with certain? What's your nigga? Put some money up, nigga. Ask all these fucking questions. I don't even know you. All right, let me get back to this IQ thing. This is important. Again, when you have black people who have high IQ, I'm gonna tell you exactly what happens. High IQ black people who are not necessarily the most charismatic are the most well-spoken. Black people, typically African Americans at large, do not have a high respect for very bright, articulate people. We say we do. I mean, everybody,
unless they're using them.
Education, and they do to a certain degree. You respect education, like, oh, that person's a cardiologist. You're like, well, damn, he's smart, and that's probably it. But what we don't see is at the top of societies, those people who run things are typically the smartest fucking people, the smartest, right? The problem with black community, with the black community, is not that we do not produce high IQ people. The problem with the black community is that when we see high IQ people, we don't have anything to offer them. But at the same time, high IQ people get recruited. For an example, I'll use Anthony Brian Logan for an example, right? Anthony Brian Logan is the largest black conservative YouTuber out there. Now, who do you think reached out to Anthony Brian Logan to do a talk? Was it Morehouse? Was it Howard University? Was it Hampton? No. Who flew out Anthony Brian Logan? University of Texas El Paso. Thanks, $10 for Booming Channel TV, right? Who interviewed Brian Logan? Was it BET? No, it was the Blaze Network. What am I saying here? When you have talented black people do not, number one, they're too stupid to realize, oh my God, here's a very talented young black kid. Here's a very young, talented, here's some infrastructure we can get to have him come back to this community and do something. Number one, we don't recognize it. And number two, they get picked off by who? Well, white people. They get put into NASA. They get put on certain different things. They get recruited to work in the white communities, like Kaiser Permanente, for example. Their CEO, right. I believe, this is a 58 billion.
He's black.
What's his name?
I don't know his name, but he's black, though.
Bernard Tyson. This guy is the CEO of a $58 million company, right? White people saw something in him that Negroes could not see. And the problem is that we have those people, okay? Don't get me wrong. We have those people. We don't, number one, we don't have the infrastructure. Oh, we do. We have Hampton, Howard. But we don't put those people in a position to say, hey, you're smart, you're bright, your ideas could lead us. We don't say that. So if you can produce more 100 or 105 IQ people, well, then that means those will be people who probably be like more likely to be engineers. You're more likely to be a doctor. But once again, you're not building the hospitals. You don't own the hospitals. You don't own the banks. See, that's where the things, we don't own those things. We don't own the banks. We don't distribute health insurance. The people that have the 140, 150, 160 IQs, they know how to do that, right? And that's what we're missing. We're not missing a lack of those people. We're missing those people. We're not putting them to leadership positions. That's the problem. And those people, when they can distribute their intelligence down to the masses, then the 85s can become 90s. Then the 85s can become 100s. See, that's the problem. What's your response to that?
Well, I agree. I do think that IQ is predicated primarily on genetics. I do think that you could probably raise it here and there with environmental things. But I think the ultimate issue with black folk is black folks do like high IQ people who use them, who exploit them, who take advantage of them. And I think a lot of that is because we are infected with the disease of liberalism, for one. And then I think we have a regressive culture, and we allow the honorable black men are so small in the black community, in my opinion, that once again, hedonism is the predominant controller of our culture. When that happens, the high IQ people will automatically be shunned. They will never be respected by the masses of Black people. They will be ostracized, called coons. They will be, it will never happen because we will never be able to get control of the cultures, kind of like how they have in India. Other functional democracies with lower IQs. The only difference is they have more honorable men who are willing to step up and control the culture. And that's what I think the major difference is.
Obsidian, he keeps talking about this lack of honorable Black men thing. Do you buy that?
No, there's no lack of honorable Black men. I keep saying this. The honorable Black men have left the Park Apeism preserve. They got the hell out.
Yes, I agree with that. That's what I'm saying.
Black men in America, they just got the hell out of the Park Apeism preserve.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And that's the problem. Therein lies the problem. Because if they leave, just like in Africa right now, it's a lot of investment going on in Africa right now throughout the whole continent. And a lot of the Africans that would normally be there to take advantage of it, reinvest there, they're leaving. So as long as that continues to happen, Africa is not going to grow at a pace where it needs to grow at, because the talent is constantly being extracted. Every single year, we're admitting more and more Africans here to take advantage of African Americans' jobs and opportunities. And they're just like, they're never going back. So at the end of the day, if that continues to happen, of course, you're going to have problems. The only difference between us and the Swipple white community is that they stay and try to maintain a certain hierarchy.
No, they don't. Right here in Philadelphia, you got Kensington. And believe me, the Swipple whites ain't trying to move into Kensington and deal with all of that, the white Park Apes.
But the thing about it is, the difference
they move their ass the hell out first.
Yes, but they still have a hierarchy of leadership, and they are still able to control what their community looks like, how it operates, at least right now. I actually see them declining as well. And all of the numbers are indicating that they're declining just as fast as we are. Quiet as kept, but that's another subject. But the thing about it is, they still have a semblance of control of their culture. It's not like it's synonymous with Bubba from the backwoods. Their culture is not synonymous with it. Our culture is synonymous with Lil Wayne currently.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's a part of it. It's part of it.
No.
Like I said, is Michelle Obama chopped liver?
They do not control the culture. You know how I know they don't control the culture? They can't even tell Black people the truth. They're neutered when it comes to their ability to infect anything in Black America.
I definitely agree with you on that. That's definitely true.
They have no control. The only people who have control of the culture at present are the more hedonistic men in the culture. This is hold on.
I assume it's a brother that Sabuna Het Ra X talking about stop busting nuts all the time. Get your mind right. Let me tell you something. The brothers that don't got their mind right ain't busting enough nuts. That's part of the problem. Once you can get them nut busted, your mind is clear.
Let me do this real quick.
Once you go, your mind is nice and clear. Now you can focus on the job at hand. Believe me, when you all backed up, you can't think straight. Why do you think you got new possibilities doing what he's doing? You can't think straight. You can't use simple logic and reason because you all back the hell up.
Let me do this real quick. Shout out to Boom Tano TV. We need to coin this word, sympathetic, for those simps out there who are just right pathetic in their Captain Save All choices with women. I agree, brother. Thank you for your $10 donation. And also, Raphael 2885, he says, okay, instead of infusing honorable Black men into the Park Ape jungle, why don't the honorable men build their own Swipple? Just don't let the Park Apes. I fucking agree. Let me do this.
They do.
Let me do this.
They do. Black people do that. They got that all around the country. We just don't talk about it, but it's there.
Let's see. Anthony Brian Logan has been in the chat for a minute. Let me ask you, Anthony, are you by a computer? Because if you are, I would like you to jump into this. I mean, now we have 4 Black Republicans on the one hangout, and now we might get arrested. Too much. 4 Black Republicans, you ain't gonna never find that on one screen. So, Anthony Brian Logan, if you want to get on, we'd love to have you on fellowship because I know you've been on with Obsidian before. Black men taking our community back. We would love the human juggernaut, I would like to call. Hit me with the link and I'm in. All right. So Anthony, ABL, give me your email address and we're gonna have ABL coming to the hood. That's what I says. When they come over here, it comes to the hood. And hold on, there's somebody else. Who is Sub-Zero? How did he get over here? Who is this nigga? I don't know him.
That's my homeboy. Good people.
Oh, okay. He's cool. I'm like, who is Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat? I'm like, okay. So let me do this real quick. So if he wants to talk, that's all good, man. Welcome to the Sub-Zero. So let me. I'm waiting on Anthony Brian Logan and let me see, Anthony. Hold on a second. Anthony Brian Logan, what's your email, bro? Let me get ABL on here. He's doing some great things.
Get new possibilities in here. Bring him in here.
Hey, send possibilities.
What did he?
Send possibilities, man. Email me so you can come on here and send for these hoes, nigga.
Cause I love you. Oh.
Nigga be simple. He didn't want to come on here, man. It's too hostile. We ain't on here.
You got the simp, baby. You got the simp. Don't trip, baby. You got the simp.
I think New Possibilities is just infected with that liberal disease.
Don't trip, baby.
You know what? I'm friends with Anthony Brian Logan. I'm friends with ABL on Facebook. So let me go ahead and send the link to Anthony Brian Logan on Facebook because I'm friends with him there. But I can't have too many of you niggas on my shit. I mean, y'all niggas try to get in here. Get me on, nigga. Keep liking the videos, man, for y'all. We're gonna get Professor Logan on here. All right, so I just Anthony, if you can take your page here, we can do that. And thank you for Marcus Brown for sharing it on your page. We had a great program. I'm just waiting on Anthony Brian Logan to get on. And if your friend has something he wants to say, you can definitely say it. His thing.
Hey, Jose, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Pleasure to meet you, man. I've been listening to you for years, man, and Obsidian as well, man. It's a pleasure to speak with y'all brothers, man.
Thank you so
Real
much.
talk.
I feel the same way about you, man. I'm so proud of what it is that you're doing, representing for the conservative brothers. Let me ask you, Anthony Brian Logan, would you agree with me that the four things that
sorry,
black
I'm not
men must
Anthony.
do
Okay.
is number one, become conservatives. Number two, have control over their dick. Number three, have control over their wallet. And number four, have control over their feet.
Well, Obsidian, that wasn't Anthony Brian Logan, man. That's somebody else.
Oh, shit, my fault. Who's I talking to?
Hold on, let's Sub-Zero.
Yo, can you hear me?
No, the point I was gonna make.
He's got the real deep voice, so that was my bad. I'm sorry.
No, my bad, man. You good. But the point I was gonna make about the Park Apeism that you guys were mentioning earlier, the thing is, man, like I'm from the hood. Just about every black person I know that's even middle class that works in a in an upwardly mobile position. And I'm letting this window up, but that works in an upwardly mobile job. If you go back 10, 15 years in their life, if they're in their 20s and 30s, they were in the ghetto. And a lot of these guys, when they were younger, were wearing, you couldn't tell because they dressed a certain way or they carried themselves as a knucklehead probably would at a certain age. And then as they got older, they put away those childish things. So I agree with Mr. Black. I just think I like his philosophy, and that's my philosophy. I feel like somebody has to do the heavy lifting, and so and a lot of the stuff he's reading the book Mein Kampf, and I got it, but I hadn't even started on it. But that's what Hitler was saying. That you got honorable men, you got the dishonorable or the hedonists, and that's kind of, you got a war for the people in the middle. So I agree with it.
Thank you so much, Sub-Zero. Let me do this. We got Anthony Brian Logan on the chat. The General, what's up with you, player?
Hey man, it's all good. I'm definitely glad to be here tonight. I gotta speak my piece. I've been in the chat in and out listening to y'all, man. So I got a lot to say. So I'm here.
Okay, man. Say what you gotta say.
I want to hear it. I definitely want to hear it. So much congrats to you, brother. You're doing the Lord's work representing for the conservative brothers. I just want to let you know that.
I appreciate that, Obsidian, man. I see you doing your thing. So congrats to you as well. Congrats to everybody in the chat, everybody on screen, man. You're definitely doing your thing. But I think you had a question for me earlier, Obsidian, but I was not able to hear it. Can you repeat it?
Yes, sir. I was saying, would you agree with me that the 4 things black men must do is, number 1, vote Republican. Number 2, take control of their wallet, take control over their dick, and take control over their feet.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're pretty much right. But when you say the last one, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Like, what do you mean by take control of their feet? Like, as far as where they live, where they work? What do you mean by
exactly. That? You don't have to. You have. See, a lot of black. See, this is the thing. A lot of black men fritter away their influence and power. Black men have just as much power and ability to determine the arc and trajectory of their lives as anyone else in America. And a lot of times we just don't use it. And the last elections really showed us when black men voted for Trump to the tune of most people agree, 15%. That was really seismic because that was the first time in modern history that black men turned out for the GOP candidate in such a large number. And what I say to brothers is, you got 100% control over who you vote for and where you put your dick, where you put your wallet, that is to say what you spend your money on, and where you put your feet, that is to say where you actually go. You have 100% control over where you live, over where the people you associate with, all of those things, man. And I think we spend so much time focusing on stuff that we ain't. Look, man, one of the reasons why I don't talk a lot about the white man, white supremacy, racism, all that stuff, is because I can't control them motherfuckers. That's a divine intervention type of thing. God's going to have to touch their heart or whatever and all that. I can't do that. I'm focused on what I'm doing with my dick, bending women over my couch. That's what I'm focused on.
Hey, man, I'm with you on that 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, from my perspective, you know, I'm the real clean guy, but from my perspective, it's just about doing what you want to do and not be worried about what other people are doing. Don't worry about the white man. I mean, what does the white man got to do? You know, the white man's not sitting up having podcasts worried about what are the blacks doing. They don't care. They couldn't care less. They was worried about themselves. Like when you're talking about economics, we're talking about business. What they do, they have a business and then they passing it on to their sons, maybe their daughters if they don't have sons. They worried about that. They worried about money. They worried about things that's going to affect them. They're not worried about the black man and woman. They don't care. But we sit here, some of us, not all of us, of course, but some of us sit here and just talk about white people all the time. That's not going to get anything done. And it's really kind of pathetic. From my point of view, I just look at what I can control myself. So what you're saying is 100% correct.
Let me do this real quick. There was a brother that had, I want to give a shout out to this brother. He put, Dr. Know-It-All, thank you for your $10 donation. Again, thank you for all the brothers donating tonight. Keep the likes coming, 237 watching. Anthony, I want to also, again, congratulate you on, I know you got your GoPro now, but you did a very good talk, man, at the University of Texas, El Paso. How huge was that? Talk about your transfer from you were once a Democratic person, you were very liberal, coming over to the right, and now getting those speaking engagements, moving off of YouTube. Talk about that and how your life has changed last year.
Oh man, my life has changed a lot. See, I was just voting Democrat for a long time just because that was just how I was raised to be. Just voting Democrat all the time. It was just something that you couldn't do anything else. There was no question about trying to vote anything other than Democrat. So that's why I was what I did. But then as I got older, you know, as with most black folks, I was raised to be conservative. That's how most of us are raised, especially if you grew up in the church and stuff like that. I was not a church boy or nothing like that, but I know a lot of people that are. People in my family, they really heavy in the church, but yet they want to vote for liberals. It didn't make any sense. I'm like, okay, you want to be in the church, but yet you want to vote for the party of abortion. You know, if you live in New York City in 2012, they had more black babies than were born mean, that were aborted than were actually born by a margin of 8,500. So how can you vote for that party while at the same time being the Christian? Stuff like that I started to see, and that just, as I got older, it started to make less and less sense. That's why I became conservative, just to match my conservative social ideology with my political ideology. It just made logical sense. And as far as me being a conservative, changing my life, being flown out to UTEP, I mean, stuff like that, I was just able to open my world up and not be caught up in the box of what the Black community said I should be. And just to get beyond that, a lot of us are afraid to leave the Black communities. We feel like we're sellouts. We feel like we're leaving people behind, but you got to be able to expand, because if you can't expand, you can't do anything to impact the world. You're always going to be just caught like at the bottom of the crab in the bucket. That's all you're ever going to be if you're not able to see beyond that. So that's why I was able to do that and really just kind of change my world, expand my world, more than just in here in the state of Virginia. I could be all over the country, all over the world, just by expanding my mind.
Mr. Black, talk to me about, I mean, brothers like Anthony Brian Logan, again, brothers that have this kind of potential, that can bring business. We talked about it. What's the need of our community to bring in brothers like the ABLs, like the Obsidians, like the Mr. Blacks? Why are brothers like this being pushed away? You know, I mean, what can we do to bring these type of brothers back to the community that we need?
I think we just have to force our hands. You know, I'm a strong believer in people don't just follow just because you say nice things. I think that, you know, we have to force the hand. We have to take the initiative, and we have to be the loudest voice in the room. They're not going to allow us to. I mean, if you look at what happened to Obsidian's channel, that's a perfect example of people rejecting, even if it, you know, and me and Obsidian disagree on a few things, but overall, you know, I would say that a lot of the talking points that he makes, I actually do agree with, because he does speak from a place of truth, regardless of what, you know, people may feel about him. Same with Anthony Brian Logan. But the thing about it is, I don't believe that people are going to follow because we have logical arguments. I don't think that matters. I think what matters is people follow the strong hand. People follow what they, in some cases, fear, and in some cases, feel is the strongest voice. And that's what I think it's going to take. And that's why I say honorable men need to just stand up and just take their place in history. And that's it.
Let me do this. Let me get to the brother Sub-Zero 3639. I want to get his opinion on this, because you said that we need to force our hands. Sub-Zero, if you don't mind answering, what do you think that the Black conservative voice can do to force their hand in the community?
Honestly, and it's just real talk, just listening. The Republican Party, my brother's conservative. He's on city council. I'm conservative. It's kind of ironic. All of us are conservative. But the thing is, I feel as though my brother was over the minority GOP, where he's from. And a lot of people in that community, African Americans, told him something that he couldn't really answer. They were like, look, we like what you're saying, because my brother's real quick with his mouth. He speaks to economics. He's very smart. My brother's, you know, pretty much a genius. But the thing he couldn't answer was, why aren't the white Republicans backing you and giving you, you know, being behind you? Because it just doesn't seem like, to me, in my personal opinion, if the Republican Party wants the Black Democratic vote, they could take it in like 6 years. It's just certain things, key points they need to hit. I don't see them doing that. You know, although I'm conservative, even you, O'Shea, you call out the Republican Party for a lot of things. They ignore certain facets. They ignore the humanity of a lot of African Americans. And there's a lot of things that they just, low-hanging fruit. There's just a lot of low-hanging fruit that they could probably come in and deal with in certain instances. And I don't think they do that.
You know, I lost a lot of Republican, because at certain points I had a lot of a pretty good amount of white, and I still do on my main channel. But that's one thing I will criticize the GOP for. The GOP is not looking for the everyday Black man, the everyday Black woman. I really feel that the GOP is not trying to gain the vote. They don't really care. They're only looking for the most part, that typical black type of sellout brother who has a white wife and he doesn't think he's black. I think that's what the GOP is looking for. And the GOP needs to get its shit together because, Trump right now, I supported the guy. Hopefully he turns it around. But if Trump messes this up, you will never see a Republican president again in the next 40 years. That's what's going to happen. You'll never get it. California's growing daily. New York's growing daily. You're just not going to be able to win another presidency without California and New York. And what the GOP needs to do, the GOP needs to recruit the everyday black person, not the highly articulate. We need to build the GOP for everyday brothers, everyday sisters who look, to understand and not necessarily talk down to black folks, which is what a lot of times I think white people in the GOP do, and they think that that's going to really play a role. And you're right. I think the GOP's fucking up. They're fucking up with the black race, and they really don't have much to do to win it. I gotta respond.
Please let me respond. I gotta talk on this because the thing about it is this. What can the GOP do? They got Ben Carson. Before Ben Carson decided he wanted to become a conservative, he was a hero in the black community. They had a movie about him with Cuba Gooding Jr. way back in the day. People loved Ben Carson. Ben Carson was Obama before Obama came out. But then once he became conservative, look how the black community treated him. When he got caught on the elevator the other day, people were cheering it in the black community, saying that it was good that he was stuck in the elevator. Why is that good? Why have you turned on him when he was a hero in your community? And the thing about them not being able to gain the average everyday brother, look at people like myself. I'm not in the GOP per se, but I've been nothing but embraced by people that are affiliated with the GOP much more than what I was when I was a liberal. And the thing about it, can you hear me?
Speak on it, brother. Speak on it.
Oh yeah. Okay. And the thing about it is this: who do the left have? Who do they really have to even? Who's the everyday brother on the left? But you got some homosexuals in there, some butch women on the left that are black. You got guys like Cory Booker who looks like he might be on drugs or something. That Cory Booker might be the next person to run for president in the Democratic Party. Is that the kind of person you want? Is that the kind of guy? And he might be a homosexual himself. Is that the kind of person that black men think we should aspire to be? Look at Ben Carson, the man who came from nothing, who came from the ghetto, single parent household, and became a brain surgeon who has a wife he's been with since the whole time, kids, grandkids, everything. Why not?
By the way, Anthony, let me bring piece in there too. Let's mention the fact that, and you can look this up. You can read about this for yourself. Ben Carson has written about this. There was a movie that was made about Ben Carson. I think it's called The Ben Carson Story, or it might be called Gifted Hands. It stars Cuba Gooding Jr., the actor. It does. Ben Carson, and you could see it for yourself. He actually dealt with racism in the operating room.
Right.
Okay. They trying to save lives, and he dealing with cracker-ass crackers, stomped down crackers in the operating room. So nobody can tell Ben Carson that he don't know nothing about racism, man.
Exactly.
Can I interject one thing? Can I interject one thing? When I agree with ABL, the Democrat Party sucks. I agree. The thing is, a lot of blacks, this is just people that are upwardly mobile, have great incomes, and they're gonna say that, well, at least I'm getting something. It's like a field Negro and a house Negro. The house Negro wants to stay where he is. The field Negro wants to leave. And when you leave and you get free, the beautiful thing about freedom, nobody's feeding you. You don't get clothes, you don't get anything. They're staying at the Democrat Party for what they think they're getting, which is some sort of imaginary resources. So that is, that's the real issue with black people. They're worrying about, like he said, the Park Apes. What about the Park Apes? We got to get them some food stamps. I'm not on food stamps.
Exactly.
But what about the Park Ape? What about my great grandmama who, ate dog food? Mysteriously, nobody's ever seen that. But I'm just saying that's what they're gonna say. They got this, mindset. Then they throw the Mexicans in front of you. They throw the homosexuals. They throw humpbacks and everybody else in front of you.
Well, let me speak to ABL response. We're done. We're talking about Ben Carson, and to whatever Ben Carson was before. I'm not sure I believe you, but you're also talking about Ben Carson as a fucking neurosurgeon. It's an anomaly. It's a big anomaly. We're talking about racism in the surgery room. I mean, here's the problem. A person like Ben Carson, who's a neurosurgeon, doesn't represent what we're talking about, quote unquote, everyday brother. Now,
how about Tim Scott from South Carolina?
Who?
Tim Scott.
The black guy.
Senator Tim Scott.
Let me finish.
Tim Scott.
Senator Tim Scott. Let me finish in general what I'm saying. The Democratic Party, even though they hate blacks with a passion, aggressively, they are out there recruiting blacks all of the time. They will do whatever it takes to continue to get the black vote. Even I'm not talking about, here goes LeBron James at the GOP concert. Like I said, oh, you're a victim. I mean, they aggressively hunt black people for. That's what I'm talking about. The Republicans don't.
Who were they? Who were they hunting? Who are the Democrat Party hunting? Besides celebrities like LeBron and Jay-Z and stuff like that, who are they hunting?
But here's the thing, though.
Low information voters.
Right. So what happens is this: they're using those people because they know that black culture is tied to rappers. They know that black culture is tied to these type of celebrities, and you just cannot say that the Republicans actively try to get the black. They just don't. They don't.
Well, what can they do? The thing about it is, I mean, ask yourself this question.
Can I interject one thing?
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead. They can go out there and get a LeBron James or Beyonce or somebody like that because it's okay. But what if they tried to go out and get LeBron James or Beyonce, the Republicans that is? Do you think it would go over well? Do you think they would be accepted? And what if a Jay-Z or somebody decided they wanted to be a Republican? How would that damage his brand? He wouldn't do that because it would hurt him. People would not accept him. Look how, like I said about Ben Carson. Ben Carson was a hero in the black community, and then when he became a Republican, look how the black community turned on him. It would be the same thing with any other black celebrity.
Well, hold on. When Trump got in, he mentioned black people for the first time. Even some little manifest that he sent to Media Takeout and all these different places, there was a substantial amount of black people that I saw that said, man, at least he's talking about us. So You're right that we don't have the Jay-Z's and all these different Beyonce to do a free concert. Well, we don't have that. But I do think that you can speak to certain economics. If you talk about economics, there will be a groundswell of black people that ain't stupid. It's a lot of people, especially on the YouTube, that will say, man, look, economics is what a lot of people have been screaming for years. We've been ignored. Obama wouldn't even say the word black, but he'll paint the White House in gay colors. So a lot of that, I think they can make some inroads. I just don't think they want to. I'm sorry. I agree with O'Shea.
What can they do? I mean, look, when you had Steve Harvey to come to the Trump Tower and you had Jim Brown to come to the Trump Tower, look how the black community treated him. And Jim Brown, out of all people in the world, Jim Brown is an OG civil rights icon. Jim Brown, like, how can you disrespect Jim Brown? When he went to Trump Tower, oh, he's a coon, he's an Uncle Tom, he's a sellout. Same thing with Kanye. You had one of the biggest music stars in history, Kanye, go to Trump Tower. Oh, he's a coon, he's an Uncle Tom. He's in a so-called sunken place, and you got Trump meeting with the 100 black pastors, the center of many black communities, the cornerstone of many black communities. Look at how all of them were treated. You're a coon, you're Uncle Tom, you're a Sal. Look at how Roland Martin did when he had one of the pastors on his program. I think it was Steve Parsons. But
Trump got 15% of the black male vote, so it did something to say. And it's just this is the first time a Republican mentioned black people. At least he had a plan. He had a 10-point plan. I was like, whoa, I never even thought I would be alive to see somebody ever do this. Mm-hmm. Really, real talk. Like, so Trump has just took a stab at it. And I don't know what happened with the Black College Stuff initiative he was trying to do with Omarosa, but Trump tried. I mean, this is the first time black people have been in the discussion forever without being coupled with homosexuals, Jews, gays, Hispanics. This is the first time I've seen somebody say black. That's just me.
Let me say.
And now let me say something else. Let me jump in here because I do have one small quibble with my brother Anthony Brian Logan. Just one small quibble when he mentioned Cory Booker. Now let me say this: back in the first decade of the 21st century, I actually worked, and it was just a matter of kismet and coincidence that I was working in Newark, New Jersey at the same time that Cory Booker was running for mayor. The first time he was running against longtime mayor and state assemblyman, Sharp James, who had basically his own fiefdom of Newark and presided over it becoming what's known as the Brick City. I mean, I've been in places in Newark where it looks like a pile of bricks and rubble. And that campaign that they ran against Cory Booker, that Sharp James people ran against Cory Booker, calling him, a light-skinned interloper. He's not really black. All the racial tropes. I mean, they really went in on Cory Booker. I don't know if the man is gay or not. Personally, I don't care. And he is a Democrat, no doubt. And I'm not speaking about his career as a senator. I'm talking about when he ran for mayor and he was mayor of Newark. I was there when he ran. I saw what Sharp James did. Sharp James eventually went to jail for his mendacity and corruption and criminality and fuckery. Let me tell you something. When it came to Newark, I'm down with Cory Booker. Now, I can't speak about his senatorial career or where things go from here. I'm talking about back then. I saw what they did to black people did to Cory Booker. And he really did try his best to turn things around in Newark. Again, he's on the left. I ain't going to agree with a number of things that he does from that left standpoint, but he's one of the relatively few black Democrats who did try to do something halfway decent for his constituents. I give him that. And by the way, you can check out a film. It's called Street Fight. You can look it up on Wikipedia or whatever, and you can find it. I don't know if it's on Amazon or Hulu or Netflix or whatever, but you can find it. It's called Street Fight, and it talks about Cory Booker's first campaign against Sharp James. That shit was really ugly. That shit was fucking foul. And it was all black people against black people. And Sharp James is a fucking embarrassment. And that is the norm in black America. It's motherfuckers like Sharp James. Maxine Waters is another example. She's in the cut of the same cloth as Sharp James. So on this point, I give Cory Booker his due. I just want to say that.
Let me do this.
Well, I almost got in a fight on election day with my brother's the incumbent. He came woofing off at my brother. My brother was like, well, we got to stay professional. And he said something to me, and, it just got a little different when he said something to me. But the thing, I calmed down. But what I'm saying is, yeah, Democrats, I mean, it's clear. You can look, the track record with the Democrats is kind of, I think that it's really fitting that they have the mule as their mascot, seeing as how we didn't get our 40 acres in a mule.
Right.
So it's kind of like, it's almost like, here's the carrot, go get it, nigga. Like that's how I look at it. So the Democrats are, to me, I think that the Republican Party can come in and get something. I even, if I drop this nuclear bomb, the word reparations, and maybe I know, here you go, in a word that's probably, and don't say reparations, say black economic empowerment, and just talk about not necessarily writing a check, but some sort of way of increasing the number of black-owned businesses, and just, you don't have to call it, something like that would work. I mean, because even the white Republicans, let me say this one thing. Even the white.
Hold on, wait a minute. I got to do some shout outs, all right? You got too many people talking. Okay. All right. First of all, let me shout out to Right Now Cherry. Thank you for the donation of $32.32. I appreciate you, brother. Remo Ari, $10 in Australian dollars. Damn. Well, you balling out in Australia. Shit, y'all rent us like $3,000 a month. One bedroom, no bathroom, nigga. Raphael 2885. Man, this is like your 15th donation today, man. I hope you don't run out of money, nigga. Appreciate it. All right, so let me do this. We can go back to the discussion. First thing I want to say, we'll go back to whoever was talking. Who was just talking just now? Was that Obsidian?
Sub-Zero. It was Sub-Zero.
So before we go back to Sub-Zero, first of all, what I'd like to say with the Republican Party and back to ABL, just real quick. If a person is fat for 40 years, and if that person tries to work out for 3 or 4 days, and that person says, I'm not losing weight, well, every time I go to work out, I'm not losing no weight. I mean, to me, that's what the Republican Party is to blacks the last 40 years. I mean, just because Donald Trump is trying to bring in some blacks, well, of course, if you have 40 years or many years rather, of not having an active black base in Republicans and no effort of trying to recruit them. I mean, that's just what it is. So what I think now is to get more blacks to the Republican Party, you're going to have to go through those growing pains of, 2020, 2024, 2028. Now you got to build up slowly but surely because you have that big gap of not recruiting. You can't just expect a man like Donald Trump to say, okay, we're going to bring in blacks. Kanye, I mean, of course, blacks are going to call you coon. They're going to call you because you don't have that kind of a representation in the black community. And I really think, I mean, I really know this, that we need more brothers. I mean, like Anthony Brian Logan, it starts there. Starts with brothers like me, Mr. Black, people who can speak to the issues of black people on a small level. We need more smaller chiefs in this whole turning thing around and not just one big person. So I think the reason why you're seeing a lot of people getting a lot of slack is because you haven't had, like the brother said, Donald Trump said black, we need to do something for black people. And that's the thing, it's going to take time to change the face of the Republican Party as it results to blacks. It's predominantly known as a white party, a rich white racist party, and that's not true, but that's how people see it. And the face of the party needs to be changed slowly but surely. Like I said, ABL is doing a great job. I'm a little bit not as clean as him because you know how I am, but you need people like me. You need people who talk shit and curse like me. We need it. You need motherfuckers to say motherfucker shit, niggas not. You need people like me to.
I agree with that.
We do.
That's the reason why I'm really proud of the gangster rappers. We needed gangster rappers to say the call out. Let's all say it together now. We needed the black female, where was my thing? Black female fuckery. There it is. And we needed gangster rappers to do that.
Yeah.
We needed them to do that. They were necessary.
Okay,
I disagree, but
let's go back to Sub-Zero and go to ABL.
Motherfucker.
Well, I mean, the point,
and the gangster rappers was doing that.
Okay, but the point I was making about reparations, I mean, which I know that's a curse word to certain black conservatives, but the reason I think what you can present a program to increase black business ownership and just call it just that or whatever you're going to call it. And then the reason I said the Republicans really, it would work for them is because they always complaining about black people being on the dole. They always complaining and bitching about it. So quite frankly, when you say, okay, well, damn, if you're going to fix it, this is the way to fix it. And of course, the Democrats,
Brother,
I mean, you kind of take let me say this one thing. You would probably take the steam or the wind out of the Democrat sail if you start talking about that. That's what I think. I think that would be a good place to start.
Let's go.
The way to increase business is to get the Democrat Party the hell out of Black America.
Preach.
They're the one. Look at Detroit. Look at what happened to Detroit from 1970 to the present. Black people were running Detroit. They ran it into the fucking ground. Coleman Young ran Detroit for 20 years straight, and it went on a steady slide to oblivion.
Okay, let's get ABL's a point on this, ABL. Let's go ahead and hear from you.
All right, so where do I begin? Like, what's my question I'm answering here?
But I guess you think that Republicans, how are they going to recruit more blacks? I mean, I think that's what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, they've been trying, but it's not much you can do. And we get a lot of people, but I mean, who's going to be recognized? Like I said, you had some people like Ben Carson. I mean, what better guy to get than Ben Carson? And then look how the black community treated him. Look at everybody that came to Trump Tower. I see people in the comment section right here talking about, oh, that was just photo ops, man. They weren't really going to do nothing. And then you had people from the HBCUs that came. That was like 100 people from HBCUs that came. All everybody want to talk about was Kellyanne Conway sitting on the couch. Stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? Low IQ, low seated stuff. And then they want to say they were there for just photo ops as well. So it was like, what are you really going to do? He's trying to make inroads. He's doing much more than Barack Obama did. I didn't see all these people from the HBCUs to come to the White House under Barack Obama. I didn't see Barack Obama extend his hand to Ben Carson when he was in office. All Barack Obama did was throw rap parties and concerts, and then that was enough for the black person. And nobody really complained about it. See, the thing about it is the Democrat Party, they got the edge in marketing, and they also have the edge in these goodies they give out, all the welfare, all the EBT, WIC, TANF, etc. That's why people don't want to go for the Republican Party, because too many of us have been trained not to work. We've been trained to just depend upon these government subsidies, and then the Republican Party represents work. A lot of us don't want to go out there and work. You rather just sit at home and do nothing. That is why we have a hard time to recruit people and to have them stay. That's exactly why people want to call others coon, Uncle Tom, etc. You call somebody a coon or Uncle Tom when you unemployed, and have no business, or you just a retard. So that's my viewpoint on that.
Well, I mean, but it's how you word it, though. I mean, if you word it work, yeah, but if you word it as ownership and legacy and empowerment, hold on, let me finish. If you use the correct wordage, it's marketing. You can sell somebody anything. So I mean, that's just how it works.
I mean, but come on though, like you gotta try to like sell work to black people. I mean, why can't we, like, we got a problem with unemployment. A lot of us don't have jobs. So why do we gotta sell work? Why do we gotta like dress it up, make it fancy? I mean, I don't understand that. It don't make no sense to me, because everybody else, all the other
Democrat
communities,
Party is the welfare
when they hear work, they're like,
party,
okay, I'm gonna go work. But we gotta have all this kind of like, self-esteem improvement terms. To me, it don't make no sense.
The Democrat Party is the welfare mind state party. And to answer my brother Edward Anderson in the chat, he says, what about Dr. Claude Anderson? Dr. Claude Anderson has given up on Black America for the exact same reason that Anthony Brian Logan just noted. Don't take my word for it. Look it up on YouTube. He said Black America is lost. He is done trying to work with Black America. I just saw the video like a month or two back. It's here.
Yeah, they ran him out of Detroit.
Search for it. He talked about that.
They ran him out of Detroit. So I mean, I get that. The thing is, like, you're right, but I just think I don't think it's self-esteem building. I think that's, I just like Dr. Boyce Watkins is a great example. Let me finish. Dr. Boyce Watkins uses these words, and it works wonders for him. He's not talking. Dr. Boyce Watkins, people love him, and he's not talking about getting out here, getting welfare and food stamps. He's talking about ownership and power. He uses those words. It's not self-esteem.
Dr. Boyce Watkins spent the most majority of his time talking about black TMZ shit and the white man is the devil type nonsense.
That's true. Hold on a second, guys.
It's true.
Let me shout out somebody. Doctor's Order. Thank you for the $10 donation. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Let me just talk to this. And as a black conservative, I feel like I'm a true black conservative, even though I curse a lot and I'm not squeaky clean. The fact that the Republicans have to come into black communities and offer people like your own business, and that bothers me a little bit. And I'm gonna tell you why. And Anthony Brian Logan, he got a good point. The fact that you gotta like package words to niggas,
right?
You don't have businesses. That's a defeated fucking people. And what I'm trying to say is, we need to hear, and I hate to say it, the same shit Bill Cosby was telling black people before he got caught up. Get off your ass. Build your own shit. But I think the thing is, we need people that are not white saying it. You can't have Bill O'Reilly saying it. I did a video on that. We don't need to have packaged words. We don't need to have packaged things or rewording it. If black people are fucking up, and they are, if black people are at the bottom of society, and we are, we need to be told the fucking truth. It doesn't need to be squeaky clean. We are in a state of oblivion. We are true fuck ups. We are destroying where we live. We're destroying our opportunities. We have very much more opportunities than anybody else in the fucking world. That's what we need to hear. We need to hear the truth, not package, not deliver the truth.
But O'Shea, let me ask you a question. Go ahead.
And that's just how it has to be, because we're in the state. The Republicans, we do need to recruit with people like, I said, ABL, people like me on the small scale, people like Anthony Brian Logan. I'm glad to see brothers like him are getting a bigger platform, and he's changing the face of the Black Republican Party. But at the same time, black people, if we don't get out there and do it ourselves, listen, Bill Clinton, let me tell you something. Bill Clinton promised black people the work programs. Bill Clinton was elected in 1992, right? Bill Clinton barely won. Ross Perot took 18% of the vote. Okay, Bill Clinton came into office, was on some liberal shit, but here we had a lot of disgruntled Republicans turning Democrat. And what did Bill Clinton do? In the second election, he knew that he had to straighten the war on drugs to make those people happy. Bill Clinton promised work programs to black communities, and what did he do? Take that money out of those communities and build jails. The same thing would happen with a white Republican president too. Black people cannot sit around and depend on big government to give jobs. Black people need to provide their own money into what they want to see. That's what black people need to do. $1.3 trillion going down the fucking drain when you can build your own, that's more than all of West African countries combined. Every country in West Africa, the black community can own it. Everyone. We have that money ourselves, everyone. Why are we asking anybody to bring jobs to us? We don't need to. We just need to do this shit our fucking selves. And that's what we need to hear. Anything else, I don't give a fuck. We don't need to package it up. That's the fucking message. Get this shit together. Let's build it up and do it yourself. That's what we need to hear. We don't need a Boyce Watkins to or package it. No, because the last time somebody packaged and sold us some shit was Bill Clinton. How did it work out for blacks? You had double the black men in jail. You have high unemployment because of black men in jail, and you have a fucked up community. We cannot afford to have somebody come in and promise us to do this. We need to come in and have somebody say, listen, we need to get this shit together ourselves. That's what we need to hear. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying is owning businesses is that. Now, what or how that's done, whether I don't think that the Republican Party is going to do that. So quite frankly, the only person that's going to do it is us. So, I mean, if you look at business ownership, there's a direct correlation between incarceration, teen pregnancy, dropout, whatever you look at, the less likely you are to be a victim of a lot of those things that I just named. So, I mean, we're pretty much saying the same thing.
Obsidian, I mean, at least Black been taking our community back. He been quiet, man. You eating some Cheetos, brother? What's going on?
And now I'm kind of letting my phone charge a little bit. So,
okay.
Yeah. I got plenty to say. I just, I'm just charging up.
Obsidian, what's your take on this, brother?
Well, like I said, I mean, the way to build business in the black community is to get rid of the Democrat Party. Listen, man, in my hometown of Philly, this just happened. Matter of fact, I would love it. I got to get Anthony Brian Logan on the show. I know he knows about this, or maybe he doesn't know about it. Have you heard about Anthony situation that went down with Shaka Fatah here in Philadelphia?
No, I haven't.
Okay, Shaka Fatah is a now convicted felon. He's in prison serving, if I believe correctly, a 10-year sentence for rife corruption charges. Okay, he was serving in the United States Congress, the 2nd Congressional District here in the city of Philadelphia for something like 20 years, and he sat on the House Appropriations Committee. Now, if you know anything about government, and you do, you know that the House Appropriations Committee is second only in influence and power to the Ways and Means Committee. And Shaka Fatah was horrendously corrupt. His son, Shaka Fatah Jr., also known as Chip, horrendously corrupt. His wife, a very popular local celebrity, a newscaster, Renee Chenault Fatah, horrendously corrupt. This is the reason why Black America is in such a, I'm just going to say it, fucked up condition, incredibly fucked up condition that it's in, because of people like Shaka Fatah. And the Congressional Black Caucus is rife with motherfuckers like him. That's the reason why the black community looks the way it does. Get rid of these people.
Yes.
Get them out of the way.
Before we go to ABL, I want to shout out, man, my homeboy Mackenzie just dropped in the chat, man. One of my good friends used to work with this brother, man. We from the same city, one of my close friends. So I wanted to acknowledge him for coming by tonight and showing me some love. So shout out to Matt Hilliard. That's a brother that I knew before I was even O'Shea on YouTube. So shout out to him, and I love you, bro. Thank you for coming on and supporting the Block podcast tonight. Get the likes up, you guys. Oh, that's Jason Benro. Oh, what's up, Jay? Get the likes up, you guys. We got 8 more to get 250, okay? We're going to go to Anthony Brian Logan. Shout outs to everybody. We got 206 in the chat strong, over 242 likes. If you just coming in the fucking chat, go ahead and like the video. So I need 7 more people to like the video, 243. Let's go to ABL about these Democrats. And ABL, what do you feel about what he just said, brother?
Well, I think he's on point with that. It's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of corruption. And the thing about it is nobody really cares because everybody just pretty much vote Democrat, regardless of the black community. It doesn't matter if the person is, a pedophile. They could be completely corrupt. They could be a thief. They could be a con artist. They could be a crook. They could be illiterate. I've seen some of that happen. People that cannot read, that are city treasurer, people that cannot read that are the mayor that's black. All that matters is that they're black and they're Democrat and they automatically get voted for. So we need to have much more literacy as far as it relates to who we vote for, who we support in the black community, not just because they Democrat. I see a lot of that going on. So Obsidian is 100% correct. And I see a comment in the chat from a guy named, I think it's T. Osanubi. And he asked me, what has changed between Democrats and Republican administrations when it comes to black unemployment? It's the same percentage. That is not correct. Under Ronald Reagan, black employment rose by 20%, and under one Barack Hussein Obama, it fell by 46%. That's verifiable. You can look it up. And the thing about it is, when you're talking about conservative ideology versus liberal ideology, look at things like the minimum wage. Why would you have the minimum wage be so high in a place like Chicago? It does not make any sense. When you're talking about the black community, where's the money? How are you going to be able to afford to pay $15 an hour to a 16-year-old black kid coming out of Chicago with no skills in the poor area? It's not enough money. You got to understand where wages come from. People just think that you can just put money from the sky or off of a big tree that has a bunch of money on it. It's not the way it is. And everybody thinks that you just get jobs from white people. That's not true either. What about all these small black businesses that want to kind of blow up and become big, but don't have a lot of capital? How are you going to be able to hire anybody legally with that kind of regulation over your head? People don't think like that. They don't understand that. They don't understand how much McDonald's costs to open. You need $2 million liquid in your pocket to even open it. That's not even counting operating costs, insurance, all that kind of stuff you need to have just to open the McDonald's or a Popeyes or something like that. And a lot of times that's the only restaurant in the ghetto. So when you have these prohibitive measures that prevent businesses from coming into a black community and being able to hire black people, what you're going to have is much more black unemployment. And that is a liberal tactic. That's why in Chicago,
and Tony,
the white areas are beautiful, but the black areas are terrible.
So expensive to do that, Tony? Why is it so expensive to open a business in Black America? Why is that, pray tell?
Well, we're talking about McDonald's. That's a national corporation. I mean, that's a big corporation. But even just some of the other places, like a very small restaurant in the black community, a barbershop, you got all kind of crazy taxes, all kind of crazy fees, zoning stuff. People want kickbacks. They want bribes. That happened here where I'm at. It was a guy. Matter of fact, I got a little story talking about black business and the black man that's corrupt is about to go to jail right now. Anthony Burfoot, you can look it up right here in Norfolk, Virginia. He's about to go to jail for like 14 years for corruption. He was a city treasurer. People that I know that have opened like small clubs, whatever, black clubs in the black community, they were having to pay him bribes. You had to pay him bribes, and also his white cohorts, you had to pay them bribes under the table to be able to get stuff done. But at the same time, he was doing like little backdoor deals to get some of them clubs shut down. People lost their jobs. A lot of that stuff was going on that people don't talk about. You got the liberal establishment in there with all kind of rules, big taxes and whatnot, plus the corruption. You got to pay bribes. You got to have a certain company, a contracting company that has bribes built into their budget. Stuff like that happens all the time. So that's the answer to your question about why things are so expensive. It's a lot of corruption and very high taxes.
Exactly. And where's the corruption coming from, Tony? Is it coming from the GOP or is it coming from the Democrat Party? And I'm talking about Black America now. Black cities, Detroit, Baltimore, Newark. Where is the corruption and all of these inflated prices to do business for Black people? Where is it coming from, Tony?
Coming from the Democrat Party, 100%. And that's why in Chicago, you got the white areas that look so beautiful, but the black areas look so bad. And you got to ask yourself why. It's because the system is set up in order for the white areas to do better and the black areas to do poorer. The white areas have more capital, and the laws that require you to have more capital to operate business do not affect them as much as it affects us. Them same laws that are in the city or in the state affect everybody equally. But once you have less than somebody, less money, it's going to affect you worse. But we don't understand that because we don't understand business and stuff like that. All we know is vote Democrat and that's it.
That's right. And the way to help the person that has less resources is, guess what? Less regulation, less corruption, and let's all say it together, less black fuckery. That's the way that you solve that problem. You don't have more regulation. You don't have more fuckery. You don't have more corruption. You have less corruption, less fuckery, less imbeciles, You just have less of it, and you allow people who do want to run a business. Listen, man, we're all in the alternative business here, the alternative media business. Me, you, Anthony Brian Logan, O'Shea. You want to know the reason why we're able to do this? Because regulations are very low. If any one of us wanted to start a brick and mortar terrestrial radio station, do you realize how expensive that shit is?
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely.
Exactly. People don't understand that. They don't understand how business really works. I'm seeing the comments right now. People say, "Oh no, man, you lying." It's like, come on, man. Educate yourself, man. Learn how to read. Don't just take my word for it. Man. Just look it up yourself. You know what I mean? That's part of the problem right there, man. Everybody just want to instantly just cast you away because you're a conservative. Nobody want to think for themselves, man. Don't believe me. Just look it up. I'm giving you the information. All you gotta do is just fact check me and see if I'm wrong. I doubt it, but see if I'm wrong. I know what I'm talking about because I've been in business for a long time. I've been self-employed for 10 years. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I've dealt with businesses. I've seen their books. I've talked to people that are black, that are even liberal, to talk about how the taxes are killing them. They can't pay their taxes, but white folks that have more capital, and they're often able to cover their taxes. It's all about money. And that's how a lot of people are able to be so-called oppressed. It's through these crazy regulations and high taxes, minimum wage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just the paperwork costs. Just filling out paperwork costs money. Am I lying, Tony?
Not at all. All that costs money.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the chat that said that, why would we side with the Republicans when the Republicans are full of so many races? And this is what I get a lot. And it really, really, really pisses me off because it makes me feel like I'm just being honest that the people that saying it are kind of slow. First thing you got to understand is this. You got to understand this. Conservatism is an ideology. The Republican Party is a political party. They're separate.
Yes.
So why would you allow a party that tends to have conservatives in it dictate how you feel about your values? So, and I always ask them this, listen, are you for fiscal responsibility? They'll say yes. Are you a strong Second Amendment supporter? They'll say yes.
Pro family.
Are you pro family? They'll say yes. And then when you say, okay, well, basically what you're telling me is you're a conservative. And then they say, nah, man, I'm not down with them racists. I'm not. And it's the most confusing thing. Yes, you are. You believe in these value systems. The only thing that you're allowing somebody else's, issues with racism dictate how you vote based on your own interests and your own values.
Black, what they'll probably say is, what are you trying to conserve? I mean, they always say that when you come with that. You're trying to conserve states' rights. When you hear states' rights, they think about states' rights for slavery. When they hear, it's just certain things, Jim Crow. So it's a buzzword. When you say conservative, it takes them somewhere. It's not that they're listening to what you're saying because it made sense. Yeah. It was not that easy. You got to deal with what they think and what their perception of what people would think if they say they agree with you. What are people going to think? My brother was at a thing. My brother is a devout Christian, so he was running for office. These Democrats set him up, got him in a room full of Democrats, about 200 people, and they stood up and started screaming at him. So he sat there, and they said, "Why? Ain't you a Democrat? Aren't you Republican?" And he stood up and said, "Yeah, I'm a Republican because I can't vote for a party that goes against my faith and goes against what I believe in." And he said when he got finished, he had literally 10 people come up. "Hey, man, I agree with you. I agree with you. They scared. It's because they worry. A lot of us as black people are scared to be called, coon, simp, all types of stuff. So we just scared."
Yeah. Well, and it's another component of that as well. And this is probably where a lot of people may disagree with me on. And the fact that, I understand where black people are coming from when it comes to feeling like understanding the disenfranchisement that black people have suffered under, during Jim Crow and even post-slavery. And guess what? I honestly do it. Like, I do agree with you where I think if black folks, if the Conservative Party was start talking about things like some form of reparations, I think more black people would jump on board. And I honestly feel like, I know O'Shea don't agree with this, but I honestly feel like black people are owed some semblance of reparations. Simply because, we lost You got to understand, we lost millions upon billions of dollars in land. I mean, we lost, I mean, just in Forsyth County alone, like I did the calculations for inflation. I mean, that's $308 million that we lost just from whites just getting angry and just kicking black people out and taking their land. This is 1,100 homes. You know what I mean? We also lost a lot of money, like during the Homestead Act, when, I mean, black people paid for 15 million acres. And I mean, and these people were just simply just kicked off their land during Jim Crow with the sundown towns, and they were kicked off their lands, and they took their lands through adverse possession. And we don't even talk about this. Like, this is not even something that most people talk about. When you look at the historical facts, billions upon billions, possibly trillions of dollars has been taken from black people. And the crazy thing is, during the Homestead Act, you got to understand, it was like 200 and something thousand, 200 and something million acres given to white farmers to land. I mean, to till the
loans, everything.
Loans were given to them. They were given everything. And listen, and they only paid like $18 for the filing fee to get it. I'm talking about literally giving to them for free. Now you have black farmers who bought 15 million acres, and at that time, and then we paid full price. Many of us paid up front. We paid the whole thing in cash because they wouldn't even extend us credit. And that same land that we got, they just simply took it through adverse possessions.
Also, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and then there was another event also with General Sherman. He gave us through the field order 15
40 acres.
Yeah, he gave us the 40 acres. And then after that, Andrew Jackson, he gave the
he stopped it.
He gave the immunity to the Confederates that were fighting, because at first in the initial Homestead Act, they couldn't get land under the Homestead Act because they were going against the Union. So he pardoned them, and then once he pardoned them, they took all of the land that black people had, and just like a straight jack move through adverse possession. And I'm talking billions of dollars in land if you were to calculate.
But also there's thousands of municipalities and cities across the country where you were not just taken from farmland, but ran out of business. And they were like, if you were in town and you were a mechanic or whatever, and a white guy across town didn't like you, they could come and just run you out of town, and that's it, or kill you, and that's it. And the Red Summer of 1919, they burned 40 cities. I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. My granddad said they burned the business that my great grandfather was trying to start. So that stuff been going on for a long time, but it's not recorded history in the school books. So you aggregate the wealth. You do that for 300 years. You aggregating all kinds of wealth.
I mean, they own 98% of all the rural land right now. Whites own. I would even think that at least we own at least 13% of the land. I mean, and we're the highest owners of land next to like Asians, and we only own 1%. So I think a lot of those things need to be remedied. That's just what I think. You know what I mean? And I think if we were to make that case as black conservatives, because I don't believe, I'm different from everybody. I believe that you take what you want in this world. I am a taker. Everything that I've ever gotten, that I've been successful at, I took it, and I didn't make excuses. I said, I want, I take, period. It was no negotiations. If it was a negotiation, I tried to be as politically correct as possible. But if I want it, I'm coming to get it. And it's nothing that is going to stop me. And I think the Republicans, particularly black conservatives, we have to take what we want. We have to be assertive and just say, listen, this is what black people need to do. And I've tried to do this, like around different people that I know, black people that I know. I tell them how they need to understand these different things. And a lot of times they come around. They come around. People appreciate leadership. That's one thing I know about people. And even if it's bad leadership, even bad leadership people appreciate. But it's about the person being willing to take control. Take it. You don't negotiate.
I agree.
You don't try to.
Yeah, you got to control your life. That's true. That is true.
And let me do this, you guys. It's almost. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's almost 3:00 in the morning here in Poland.
Oh man, golly.
We got to do this. We got to do this again. We got to get all the brothers back
Gotta
again.
do it again.
I enjoyed this, man.
When you guys always I mean, I got to beat Anthony Brian Logan. He didn't bought a GoPro Hero, so he started blog campaign. So shit, I got to go harder. So I'll be in Budapest for Sunday. So I got to get up, and get ready to pack for that. And go to Warsaw on Saturday to catch the flight on Sunday morning. So
shit, I just got on with Delta part time. I'm gonna come over there and kick it with you.
Yeah, man, you welcome to come, man. You welcome to come. You been to Poland before?
No, I've been to London, but I hadn't been to Poland. So
I've been trying to get Obsidian to relocate to one of these Eastern European countries, man, because the quality of life here is so high. I mean, it's like I said, my electricity and gas is $45 by every 2 months. Every 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know the reason why that is, right?
Why?
Let's all say it together now. Because Park Apeism is expensive.
Definitely.
Well, let me let you guys say one thing before we end it. Let's start with Sub-Zero, man. You have a YouTube channel or anything, or?
Yeah, I do. Sub-Zero 3639. I'm kind of like Mr. Black. So, I've been doing this for about a month and a half. I enjoy listening to everybody. I said, man, I got some stuff to say. Let me start putting my stuff out. So I'm an old country boy from Montgomery, Alabama. So live in Atlanta. Okay. That's all I got to say. All right.
I just subscribed to you just now. So you got a new subscriber. I'm going to check you out.
Right.
Mr. Black, what do you say, player?
Look, like I like doing YouTube videos. I'm not like heavily active. Actually, I want to say a big shout out to O'Shea too, man, because to be honest with you, man, my channel has grown, I think, as a result of being on many of your hangouts, man. So I just want to give you a shout out to you for that. So that's all I want to say, man. And I just want the brothers to take leadership and take what you want, man. Stop, asking people, what they think about it. Just take that shit and just, tell them that they need to like it and be done with it.
Okay, take it. Don't steal it all. Don't knock nobody aside the head. But
yeah, you don't do that. You just tell them.
Some niggas go, take it. Boom. All right, and let's in this. So ABL, man, Mr. 100. You got the check mark by his name. You got 100,000 subscribers. Thanks for coming to the hood tonight, man. What do you want to add on to this?
Hey, thank you for having me, O'Shea. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to all the brothers in the chat, all the brothers in the live stream. Definitely appreciate you for your input. This is a great stream. Definitely enjoyed it. You can check me out at youtube.com/alog. That's youtube.com/ALOGE. Or you can search Anthony Brian Logan in Google. Everything will come up: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Also, to everybody in the chat that got something negative to say, man, just learn how to read, man. Learn how to read for yourself. and don't take my word for it. Just look up what I said, and you will see that everything I said is true. I've been doing this for a very long time, so that's all I got to say, and I'm out.
Let me do this. You guys subscribe to Anthony Brian Logan in the chat. A-Log. So I just put his
Yeah, and Tony, get at me, man.
Will do.
And
Obsidian, I'm gonna chop it up with you sometime, Obsidian.
Yeah, I want to bring you on the show, man, because we got to talk about this. I want to bring you on the show. Hit me up, theobsidianfiles@hotmail or@gmail.com. Let's set up a date for you to come on, man.
I got you, man.
And also, and the last but not least, the person who actually, the title is "Why I Refuse to Be the Cleanup Man." This is actually one of your podcasts. What would you have to say in our ending comments tonight?
Yes, the 4 things that Black men must do in order to take back control of themselves and by extension where they live, their own communities, wherever that may be. Number 1, vote Republican. Number 2, vote with your dick. Number 3, vote with your wallet. And number 4, vote with your feet. That's what I would say.
Those are good ones. So let me, before I go, let me just talk about how proud I am of what's been coming along in Black youth. Newer YouTubers like me, Anthony Brian Logan, Obsidian, we are fairly new amongst what you would consider the Black YouTube. And let me just talk about what Black conservatives can do on YouTube. You see what Anthony Brian Logan is doing with him going down to University of Texas El Paso, him being on the Blaze. Obsidian came on, had an idea about Black men having their own website. I had a site that failed, and the money that I generated from YouTube and from the Black men supporting it, we put together the NegroManosphere.com. Now, if you guys know anything about Alexa rankings that rank websites, the Negro Manosphere has only been up 4 months. When the site started, it was worth $75. Now it is worth $3,000. Okay, and that's in 4 months. Alexa right now for the month we are ranked 217,828. We were ranked about 600,000 in the United States, just like maybe a week ago. So at this rate, we are really gearing up towards some big things with the site. And once again, that's conservative idea thinking, putting out your own voice, not asking anybody to just give you a site or anything. Putting up your own money, believing in your own product. That's what conservatives do. That's what people who want to have their voice do. They put their own fucking money up. So once again, I want to give a special shout out to Obsidian. He really was the kind of the brainchild or something like this. I put my expertise on it, and we're really putting out the site, man, because you brothers have donated. I talked about D.L. Hughley. Got a hold of one of our articles on Saturday, and Obsidian saw it himself. Over 3,000 shares. Okay, so people are really wanting to know what the Black male's voice is. So you brothers have a voice. People like Anthony Brian Logan's giving you a voice. People like Obsidian giving you a voice. Black men taking our community back, Sub-Zero. So the brothers can do things. Okay, the brothers can build things. They can do things. In just a short month, we have a full staff. We have paid writers on our staff. We come out with content every day. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for the best fan base in the world. You guys are really active. Appreciate you. Love you guys. And always remember the buffoonery at an all-time high. I'm out this bitch. Thank you, brothers, again for the great hangout. This is, like I said, this is probably the best hangout I've done. It is the best hangout I've done all year. So thank you so much. And we'll be coming back. Hopefully, I'll be back on probably sometime tomorrow, this weekend. Obsidian, you got my Skype. We always talk. Anthony Brian Logan, I'll hit you up. Definitely. We'll come back again.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. We got to do this again. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun.
Oh, man, no sound effects.
All right.
All right. Peace out, you guys.
Peace.
All right.
And